The countdown's over. Fuck the countdown. Hello, what's up, everybody? We're on the Distraction Channel. It is Monday. It's usually Review Monday. Joseph is still a part-time bitch. He's on vacation. I've got two pals with me here. Jarrett Bailey from Fansided, covering the NFL. Jarrett, how you doing, buddy?
You know, in the teaser for this, when you tweeted it out, you said you were going to bury me. So I'm going to wait.
Do you want to start with this?
I mean, we can if you would like. If you just want to get it off your chest and out of the way.
Yes, let me introduce SP3 first. By the way, Jarrett making his Distraction debut.
I am actually, yeah. This is kind of like a historic moment.
It truly, truly is. SP3, you guys know him. You love him from True Heel Heat. SP3, what's going on, buddy?
I am doing well. Glad to be here on the Distraction YouTube channel, and I might have a list for you to bury. If
God, am I just gonna bury both?
Yes,
of my
if you are in the mood to bury some stuff, I may have a list for you.
I am sick. I'm under the weather, and yet I still produce this content because I love this business. You know how it is. Dedication. All right, Jared, let's do this.
Okay,
you told me the Panthers were going to be good this year.
I did do that.
Sam Darnold sucks. He's horrible. He was good for 3 games. In 20 years, we're going to hang the Sam Darnold MVP through 3 games banner. It's going to be a big celebration. He's awful, man.
Yeah, I mean, so when was this? When they traded for him in, March, I became like a closeted Panthers fan. Like I was like, yep, all in on Carolina. This is going to be great. Because all of last year, like I was conducting the Sam Darnold hype train. I wasn't just on it. I was leading the way. And then he gets traded. I went on a rampage during the offseason saying, yep, Carolina, playoff team, book it. And then, they start off 3-0. I'm taking victory laps after every game that they play. And then the last month and a half, mate, yeah, it's just shit's hit the fan. And look, after 3-0, I was incredibly confident. And you tweeted at me, waiting for, the other shoe to drop. And I was like, look, Jeremy, you don't got to worry, man. Everything's going to be just fine. And yeah, the performance, he's cost them minimum 2 games. He cost them a game against the Eagles, no doubt. They were in control of that to the fourth quarter. And he threw 3 interceptions that game, threw a pick 6 yesterday. He had 3 interceptions yesterday, too. So yeah, I mean, it hasn't been great. The past month and a half or so for old Sammy Darnold. Look, if you're, and I don't want to turn this into an NFL podcast because I talk about this enough, but if you're Matt Rule, you got to be considering putting in PJ Walker this Sunday, just because it's evident that if he wants to give Sam Darnold one more go against the Cardinals, by all means, but it should be PJ Walker time come Sunday, but. Yeah, I am sorry, Jeremy, if I got your hopes up whatsoever. And then I got to deal with SP3's co-host when I went on his show last month or a month and a half ago or whatever. Fucking JJ getting in my mentions after every Titans win. Jesus Lord, like all my friends in wrestling media coming at me after everything I do.
You said they were gonna go 8-9, and they're 7-2. It's like that. You got that on yourself. I was rooting for you to be right because I love to have something to make fun of him about. But
yeah, well, and look, I don't want to make this sound like I root for anybody to get injured. I definitely don't. But like once Derrick Henry went down, I was like, oh no, I'm about to be proven right. I'm gonna look like a genius, and then Matthew Stafford throws an interception right into the lap of Rams defenders last night and rips out my heart and soul. So yeah, no, and look, I say this a lot because there's a lot of trolls on Twitter who will be like, hey, he said this and he was wrong. I should be able to do this for a living. Like, look, nobody bats 1,000 in this. You're always going to be wrong about something. I can acknowledge when I'm wrong. The Titans are good right now. The Panthers are not. So those I've been eating that for the past few days.
The big thing is you can acknowledge when you're wrong because so many people will just sweep it under the rug and will say absolutely nothing, and they will act like they only get everything right. Like I don't care if you're right or wrong. I'm wrong about a lot of shit in all sports, but I have to give you shit when it comes to the Panthers because
that's fine.
I did get my hopes up a little bit. I was like, Jarrett knows what he's talking about. He's smart. He's got this. He wouldn't let me down. He wouldn't steer me in the wrong direction. And then look what you've done to me, Jarrett.
I truly wasn't trying to. Now, when it comes to like hockey stuff, I mean, I'm not a hockey expert by any means. I know you're an Avalanche fan. They started off the season with you and I playing on the fourth line because everybody got hurt. So, that wasn't a great start. But yeah, when it comes to that, I can admit my wrong when I'm wrong.
I hate all sports, honestly, except basketball. My team's 2-0. I don't think we've played any other games. We've got 2 wins. Who have we beaten? SV3? We have 3 wins now, but who were 2 of those wins against?
I only agreed to come on here because you mentioned nothing about talking basketball, but I knew this was gonna come. Yes, you have 2 victories over my Los Angeles Lakers. I'm blaming the second one 100% on your boy Russell Westbrook, though. But it's not been looking good. I know the last time I was on here, I said my panic level was at a 0 after we lost on opening night because we always lose on opening night, especially with LeBron. But now, a couple of weeks later, LeBron's been hurt. AD has been questionable a couple of games. So it's at like a 10 out of 100. 10 out of 100.
I was about to say.
Not out of 10. It's not a 10 out of 10. A 10 out of 100. So it's at 10%.
Can I just say, when it comes to basketball, you should practically just ask me about aliens. I've got absolutely no rooting interest. Now, when I was in like 7th grade, was a ginormous Bulls fan because I love Derrick Rose. Ever since that, like, I will say this though, basketball this year, they took away that whole like jumping into a defender to cause a foul rule, and it's making James Harden look like shit, which makes my heart happy because fuck James Harden.
Agreed. I do it. Fuck James Harden. Fuck Kevin Durant. I'm totally on that bandwagon.
This is where you get Jeremy on your side.
I'm very happy that they took away that rule because it was god awful. It's made the games a lot better. Although fouls, like now sometimes they just don't call like anything, and it's like all right, some of this stuff is like a foul. Like, you can't just let everything go.
Yeah, I forgot how big a basketball guy Jeremy was because I remember watching him and Joe and when NBA free agency opened, and he's just reading off free agency signings on the show, and I'm like, all right, I guess this is what this has turned into.
Our first live show ever was NBA trade deadline last year, 2020. And Joseph messaged me at like 3 a.m. and he's like, can we do a live show? I was like, I don't know, Joseph. We've never done one of these. I don't know how to set this up. And I set it up within like a couple of hours after talking to Sean. This was before StreamYard, by the way. This was like, we were still doing it through OBS and Skype and everything. This was like, yes, it was a much more difficult process than just, hey, go on StreamYard, set it all up.
Yeah.
So Joseph's like, can we do this? I was like, yeah, I'll figure it out, Joseph. And literally we're talking wrestling, and in the middle of it, I'll never forget, I was like, Andre Drummond's been traded. This is like the big trade of the deadline. Joseph was talking about something. I just cut him off mid-sentence. I was like, Joseph, Andre Drummond's been traded. He was like, is that worth cutting me off? I was like, yes, this is the point of doing this live show with the trade deadline.
Joe's doing something talking about like, oh yeah, so this past week on NXT, Andre Drummond has been traded.
We definitely were talking about it. I don't think NXT had been banned by that point. So maybe we had some NXT conversations, which segue into an actual wrestling topic. I have not talked about the releases yet. I've not done a show since the releases. So last Thursday night, WWE released 17 talents, I believe, among the big names: Keith Lee, Karrion Kross, Ty Valkyrie / Frankie Monet, Scarlett, Mia Yim, Lucha House Party, and a bunch of others that I'm sure. Eva Marie was a big one, and Ember Moon. I think those were kind of the big names that were out there. I'll give my take in a second, but Jarrett, your thoughts on these releases and where some of these people might end up?
I mean, it's hard to be like surprised anymore because it's becoming more and more of a frequent thing. Like ever since like, what was it, Black Wednesday in April 2020, after everything had happened when they cut a lot of guys, like this has just become like a quarterly thing. It's just annoying on the same day that they announced that they had $256 million in the last 3 months. They cite budget cuts as getting rid of a bunch of people that a lot of people are invested in. Like Keith Lee, a calendar year ago, I think it was less than a calendar year ago, was a double champion on NXT, arguably the most over wrestler in that company. Not just NXT, Raw, SmackDown, whatever you wanted. He was over as hell, and they let him go. Karrion Kross, who I think we can kind of cite. Is that the worst NXT call of all time, Karrion Kross? I feel like that's got to be up there.
Yeah, he was champion when they called him up, and then they had him.
And then they dropped him to Jeff Hardy. And and here's the thing: Jeff Hardy's my favorite wrestler of all time. Love Jeff Hardy. It just felt like, why? What was the point in that?
Yeah,
and they take away Scarlett from him. They
let it play out, ladies and gentlemen.
They take away everything that was relatively cool about him, and then just job him out, and then dress him up like he's into BDSM with his big ass helmet and whatnot. And then, I mean, you look at the other ones. Ember Moon has been fantastic for a long time. Ty Valkyrie, who she's gone back to her indie name, not Frankie Monet now. She actually addressed it. I guess the whole thing was that they want to go have NXT be, more that developmental thing. They want to target younger people. I think Ty Valkyrie, late 30s she is. I'd have to double check that. I know she's in her 30s. But yeah, man, it's one of those things where it's like disappointed but not surprised. And Andy H. Murray from What Culture actually made a good point about this, saying it's hard to get invested into their product anymore if this is what the end result's going to be. Like, if we get invested in these wrestlers, if we get invested in a Keith Lee, if we get invested in Ember Moon, and the end game is just to call them up, waste their character, change who they are, change their brand, change what made them great, and then just release them, blaming them for not getting over after that is the end. What's the point of getting involved and getting invested in it? So I don't know, man. It's a pain. It's hard to constantly see such talented people go to waste. A lot of these guys are going to land on their feet. We know that. We know Keith Lee's going to crush it wherever he goes. We know that, Ember Moon and Eva Marie, all these, they're gonna land somewhere. Some of them are going to go to AEW inevitably. But yeah, it's a pain. Oni Lorcan's the one that pissed me off the most. Can I say that? Oni Lorcan is fucking fantastic. And he's been part of some of the best tag team wrestling that company has had in the past 5 years. And they split him with Danny Burch, who I guess is also where's he been? First of all, is he hurt, or are they just not putting him on TV?
No, they were on TV with Dunn and Ridge Holland, and then they turned on them, and then they just
haven't put them on.
Okay, so again, getting rid of Oni Lorcan, that was the first name that I saw actually, because I think Sean had actually tweeted it. And after that, that big list came out. I think Denise actually went back from 2020 to list every wrestler that's been released in the past year and a half. And it's just ungodly what they're doing, man. And it's a pain in the butt knowing that they don't need to do it. There's no point in them doing it, and they just keep doing it. So disappointed but not surprised.
SP3?
Yeah, I mean, this one was one of the more puzzling group of releases that they've had, because literally I felt like this was just this past summer they were talking about, they're protecting Nia Jax in these tag matches.
I completely forgot she was part of this.
Yeah, they like were protecting her in tag matches. A few weeks ago they talked about how when she got into the shoot fight with Charlotte, that the locker room was behind her, that they was like, oh no, she's the hero here in this situation. And because she comes from that family, like if you told 2021 January 2021 SP3 that Nia Jax and Braun Strowman would not have jobs with the WWE in November, I would have called you a damn liar, because that seemed like the most highly improbable thing that would happen in WWE this year. But there's been so many like that. Like if you would have told me Bray Wyatt in November would not have a job, I would be shocked. But this one just had a bunch of different people that have been talked about over the last couple of months, like Karrion Kross, like Jeremy said earlier. Everybody was like, let it play out. You had Rosenberg with the tweet. Karrion Kross losing to Jeff Hardy makes me more interested in Karrion Kross, because I want to see his journey now after he loses as the undefeated guy, the NXT champion, losing to Jeff Hardy, who lost to Veer the week before. Let it play out. Let it play out. Oh, the dominatrix GIP uniform didn't work, so we're gonna make him a killer and make him sadistic and a psycho. Oh, you mean like everything he was in NXT and before NXT? The stuff you should have been watching before he even came to the main roster, to see what works with him and not try to put a round peg in a square hole. And that's exactly what they did with Keith Lee. They took everything that was great about him. His song, Take It Away. how he looked, his presentation, take it away. It was just like, it's ridiculous with Keith Lee and Karrion Kross that they had two guys that should have been a success on the main roster. Everything that we saw before they got called up would have told us that they were going to be a success, with Keith Lee doing a fist bump with the number one guy, Roman Reigns, at Survivor Series 2019. Karrion Kross, everybody was like, the whole reason he's getting this push on NXT is he's going to go to the main roster and he's going to be a top guy, because that's the type of guy Vince loves. And he did everything in his power to make him the worst NXT call-up ever, because you could say, oh, Shinsuke Nakamura, Sami Zayn, and Neville, all those guys had something that everybody thought Vince is not going to like that. It's not going to happen. Karrion Kross was the number one guy that you saw him in NXT and you were like, Vince going to love him. Vince is going to push him. 3 months and he's not with the company anymore. The main event of TakeOver 30 does not work with the company anymore, and we only up to TakeOver 37. That just says everything about these releases.
Lord.
It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Kross, once you saw that entrance in NXT, it's like, yeah, this is main roster ready. Like they're gonna call these two up in a big arena and everything. This is gonna. How over it's going to be is going to obviously depend on like his booking and everything, but it's like, this is a main roster act just ready made. And they brought him up, and we all saw the dark match video where he comes out and it's just, there's no smoke and mirrors. There's no Scarlet. It's just walk to the ring with this entrance song. And it did not work at all. I feel bad for the guy, because I listened to a few Kross interviews while he was still on the roster. And he's talking about like the mask and everything. He's like, oh, this is the idea behind it. And trust me, like it's going somewhere. Like you're going to see the evolution of everything. It's like, man, you know, they ain't got these actual plans. Like these wrestlers, they're trying to be like, oh, don't worry. Even the wrestlers are like, let it play out. Trust us. Like we got long-term plans and stuff. It's like, nah, they ain't got long-term plans for any of this stuff.
Well, what else are they going to say though, Jeremy? Like they're not going to go public.
That's true.
Like,
yeah, I agree. They're not going to say anything, but like, I transcribe, I listen to a lot of his interviews, and I'm listening to Kross, and he's telling people like, oh, trust us. We got these plans. Like, it's going to mean something. You're going to see why I'm doing all of this in the future. And like, people believe this stuff. And, you know, especially the WWE fans, they're like, see, let it play out. Let it play out. Like this feeds into all of that. I agree. What they're not going to be like, yeah, we don't really know. A lot of them do that. A lot of them will say, or at least some of them who are like secure with their position, they will be like, I don't know, man. Kofi is an example. It's like, I just find out on social media when I need to show up, and I show up, and then we're good from there. Like, I don't really know what we're doing getting there. Like Big E said when he cashed in, he's like, yeah, they told me to tweet it that I was coming to cash in, and I didn't know until I got there if I was actually cashing in. So some of them secure enough to say it, but yeah, a lot of the people, they're going to say it. They're obviously going to try to protect what they need to say, but it's just unfortunate when you hear these things and they get their fans like, oh, see, like there's a plan for it. It's like, no, there's really no actual plan for a lot of this stuff. Keith Lee was a pretty big one, because we thought, like, you could say what you will about the Bearcats. It wasn't for me, especially when you know what Keith Lee can be and everything, but Vince was behind it to some extent. It became a thing where like, oh, well, Keith Lee pitched this. That's why I wanted it. And then, of course, Keith Lee shot that down. If you listen to his interview with Satin, he's like, yeah, this is Vince. And I like that Vince has his hands on this because it lets me know what he wants from me. So if he just gives me the direction, I can go out there and I can do this. They have a big babyface problem with that of everyone just needs to show aggression. Keith Lee is a guy who's just kind of happy-go-lucky, nicest guy in the world, despite reported attitude issues. And he's like, oh, show aggression. That's all. Vince had ruthless aggression like in a promo 20 years ago, and that's just how he books everybody now. They got to have some type of aggression. Taya was a tough one. The writing was on the wall in NXT, but in that case, call her up to the main roster. To do this when her husband is overseas too, like that's messed up. And Keith Lee said that he had to pay for his own medical bills. You know, they released Mia, Keith Lee, fiance. They released Scarlett. Her and Karrion are engaged. Some of it is reported vaccination status. I don't know how much truth there is to that. Obviously, it can be. It's not a requirement. I know WWE has pushed everybody to be like, hey, please get vaccinated because then you can travel overseas. Some arenas, you got to be vaccinated and everything. So it makes sense. But if that's the reason, Nia said like she never heard anything about that. She was on a mental health break, and then they let her go off of this. I'm not gonna discount anybody taking a mental health break. I'm not gonna discount Nia's story at all. And that B-Fab, we didn't mention her. She just got called up with Hit Row.
That was crazy.
She's gone. Just there's clearly no plan with this stuff. They look at everybody. They see how much are you making. Okay, what are you actually doing? Okay, you're gone. We got nothing for you. You're done. There's just cogs on the wheel, everybody. And that was very clear with Braun and Bray earlier this year. Very clear. SB3, give me kind of your general take on where you think some of these people might end up landing.
Well, Keith Lee, I've been echoing this. He's the number one draft pick if you're AEW, because AEW has done well to create a diverse roster, but they don't have really African American representation in the main event scene. And Keith Lee fills that immediately, and he's a main eventer waiting to happen. And me personally, I want the Pretty Boy Killers of Keith Lee and Shane Taylor to be reunited and bring that to AEW. That's all fine to me, but I would say, if I'm AEW, I'm looking at the Keith Lee, I'm looking at Ember Moon, I'm looking at Mia Yim, especially those two. For their women's division, they need more veterans. Like, their best matches are ones with Serena Deeb and Thunder Rosa, because they are so experienced and have, they can work with pretty much anyone. And I feel like Ember Moon and Mia Yim kind of fit that bill as well. Karrion Kross and Scarlett Bordeaux, I don't know about that being for AEW. That's one where they became stars in Impact Wrestling, but they never really got success, like the accolades to go along with it. I feel like that was the turning point for both of their careers. So let them go back to Impact. Killer Kross is immediately your Impact World Champion. He's the top. He's like one of the top guys that they have immediately going over there. And Scarlett can do stuff with their luxury of riches in the Knockouts division. So that's for them. Nia Jax, I can see her going into Hollywood. I can see her. She's a controversial figure. So the one place where I say controversial figures go to home to roast is WoW. So she could be with Nuclear Tessa Blanchard and have a good time over there. Maybe Eva Marie will join them as well. Eva Marie, I can see her going back to Hollywood. That's the whole reason she's off TV, is because she wants to do a movie. So I can see her going there. Out of everybody on the list, the only person I can see going back to WWE is B-Fab. Because I could see where they were like, okay, she's not experienced enough to be on the main roster. Because I don't know if anybody realized, they don't really have female managers on the main roster. Zelina Vega was the only thing close to that, and they immediately made her into a competitor. Sometimes people are just good as managers for where they are at in their progression. And I feel like B-Fab is that. But being outside of WWE, she will get more experience, because you're not going to learn wrestling in the PC. That just... I don't know. There doesn't seem to be a lot of examples of successful PC graduates, but I can see B-Fab getting out, getting more experience, and coming back to WWE down the road. And I was reminded when you were going in, Jeremy, about the Twitter user. Remember when Karrion Kross versus Keith Lee on Raw? And it was like, oh my God, people are complaining. You guys would be complaining in 1997 when Stone Cold versus The Rock on a random episode of Monday Night Raw. You guys react way too serious. And yeah, they're well on their way to being Stone Cold and The Rock now.
Jarrett, where do you see some of these talents going?
Yeah, I mean, I could echo a lot of what SB3 said. I think that Ember Moon and Mia Yim would be, AEW needs to scoop them up now, because as good as, like, the problem with AEW's women's division, it's not that they don't have a good amount of them. They've got a decent amount of women. It's just that none of them, but a very select few of them are like really main event caliber. You got, and I said this was when I was on SB3 show a while back, like they've got Britt Baker, they got Thunder Rosa, they got Serena Deeb. Now they're minting a few that are looking promising to be at that. Like Jade Cargill's on her way to being there. Chris Statlander had a really good match with Britt a few months ago on the pay-per-view. So like they've got a few that are on their way. Ruby Soho now, I mean, she's very over. So, but having only 5 or 6, main event women, that's. And even that's stretching it. Like they've really got like 3 or 4 really just strong main event women. You put Ember Moon and Mia Yim into that, you just got a much stronger women's division. Now, in terms of Keith Lee, I would very much enjoy like a little mini reunion with maybe like something happening with the Elite and Keith Lee just comes down and beats the hell out of Adam Cole. Yes, please. That would be great. I do think that it does seem that he's going to be all Elite very soon. Now, obviously, being on the main roster, he's got to wait the 90 days. Ember Moon, Mia Yim, they can wait the 30-day. So we could see them sooner rather than later. But yeah, I think Keith Lee will make his way there. The only thing that AEW's got to avoid is that they don't want to turn into WWE was in the mid-2010s, where they just hoard all this talent and then now we don't have anything to do for a lot of these guys. So, they've brought in, they brought in Bobby Fish a while ago. They just brought in Lee Moriarty. Like they're scooping up a lot of people as is right now. And Tony Khan said he's got his eyes on a few of them. I assume it's going to be, the bigger names that we've already talked about. So yeah, I think that more so, I think it's maybe more important for them to get Ember Moon and Mia Yim than it is Keith Lee. Not that Keith Lee wouldn't be a ginormous grab, but I think the more impactful moves would be to get Ember Moon and Mia Yim.
Yeah, SP3, you said that Keith Lee was your number one draft pick for AEW. Mine, if I'm Tony Khan, AEW, it's Ember. It's Ember 100%. I think people forget just how good she is. A-Shock mentioned in the chat, Mia has a 90 days because she was part of the main roster.
Oh, yeah, because oh my God, Retribution. Jesus.
Yes.
You remember the legendary run of Retaliation?
Oh
no, she was Reckoning. Who was Retaliation?
Oh, that was Mercedes Martinez.
Mother of God.
Jeez, what a run that was for that company. That was another very famous "let it play out" kind of thing. Good luck.
There's been too many. It's in this whole list of releases. I think one fan has at least said, "Oh, let it play out" with each and every one of them.
I would take Ember Moon first. I think Ember Moon is tremendous. I think people forget how good Ember Moon is because she has been in that system and just hasn't been. She got to go a little bit in NXT when she returned to the brand, but her main roster run, she didn't really get to show fully what she was capable of. And then coming off the Achilles injury, people worried, is she gonna kind of move the same and her offense gonna look the same? It looked just as good pre-injury or post-injury as it did pre-injury. I love Ember Moon. I think she's fantastic. If I'm AEW, that's who I'm taking first. Mia, I think she would be a great fit in AEW. Keith he'd obviously fit in AEW. You got to wonder because they can keep taking all these talents as much as they want. Tony Khan said it we ain't running out of debuts the way they're cutting talent and everything.
Max Caster also touched on that too. End careers faster than your father-in-law.
Yes, that was
great. But they've got potentially O'Reilly coming in. His contract's up in December. Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sold on O'Reilly coming in. Gargano potentially as well. I'm a little bit more iffy on Gargano. Steen possibly in January. They got some big names coming. Steen, obviously, the biggest one of that bunch. But O'Reilly, Gargano possibly coming in. And you add in Keith Lee. This is where, to Jarrett's point, you worry about, all right, you still got your homegrown guys that aren't getting pushed to the back burner or anything. But there are guys like Ricky Starks is not on this pay-per-view on Saturday. And we all thought Ricky Starks was that guy on Sammy Guevara. I mean, he's in this inner circle match. And it's
And he's been... he's TNT champion, and he's had how many defenses he's just had a really underwhelming run so far.
Yeah. I don't know if Miro, I don't know if he would have been on the pay-per-view if Moxley doesn't go to inpatient treatment. So there's guys, Andrade, Pac, they're wrestling on Dynamite and everything. There's no spot for them on this pay-per-view right now. And so you got to worry. You bring in more talent like this, more talent gets pushed down. This is where you got to maybe change your schedule, honestly. Maybe you go to a brand split. Maybe you do different things with your pay-per-views and add pay-per-views. I don't know if Tony Khan wants to do that because I think he likes where it's at right now. But the more talent you bring in and everything, you're going to keep pushing guys down. And at some point, there's going to be some frustration there. There really is. Jay Shell's in the chat. She's all over. So I love Ricky, Distraction Legend, Ricky Starks. He tweeted after All Out, I'm not letting this happen again, me not being on pay-per-view. And bless Ricky, doesn't look like he's going to be on this pay-per-view. 45 Wit says it, they do a good job of rotating talent. Again, there is an issue of talent at some point is going to be frustrated of I'm not getting on pay-per-view consistently. I'm not getting on television and having matches on television consistently. And at some point, some frustration is going to build if you keep bringing in all these guys.
Yeah, just ask Brian Cage.
Yes, that's what I was going to say, yeah.
And Brian Cage was very complimentary of Tony. He said, Tony hears me out and everything, but there's some clear frustration with Brian Cage. And
if there was ever, in terms of like guys who I think would make the jump from AEW to WWE, I think Brian Cage is going to be that first guy to do it once he gets the chance. He just looks like a Vince McMahon guy, does he not? He's built to the moon. Yeah. He's stacked. I think, like, especially with this new direction that they want to go in, like, even if they were to send him to NXT 2.0, like, to start off and have him brought up to the main roster afterwards, like I get that he's not a good mouthpiece whatsoever, but the dude looks like everything that WWE seems to want. So if there's anybody that I think is going to be the first to jump from AEW to WWE, Brian Cage would absolutely be my bet.
I would agree. I would agree with that if it wasn't for his age. I think that's the only thing that WWE.
Yeah, how old is he? I honestly don't know how old Brian Cage is.
I think he's like 37, 38. Yeah, I mean, he's not as young as most people would think. But I totally agree with. Yeah, I totally agree with Jeremy. In general, Team Taz has been the most underutilized thing in AEW.
Here we go.
Yes, Jared. I am bringing it here because
Jesus.
Team Taz has Ricky Starks, who is he's a great talker, great in the ring, future AEW World Champion.
And I love Ricky Starks. I'm not crapping on Ricky Starks. I like Ricky Starks.
They got Powerhouse Hobbs, who's just a monster. If you look at him in the airport, he's the type of guy you just look at and you're like, he's a professional wrestler. And then, of course, you got Taz, great talker, great mouthpiece for the group. But it all begins and ends with my man Hook. The future of professional wrestling in a nutshell. AEW World Champion, AEW TNT Champion, Tag Team Champion, FTW Champion. He's going to be the first Grand Slam winner in All Elite Wrestling history. Hook. I am down with Hook. Send for Hook. I'm the president of the Hooker campaign. I'm the number one hooker out on these streets for Hook. So this is what it's all about.
Number one hooker on the streets.
I love CM Punk. I love CM Punk. I'm never going to forgive him for the send me Hook thing because you led off with that when I came on and it just took absolute look. Hook would be great in my favorite show, Vampire Diaries, because he's gorgeous, isn't he? He's a great looking guy. Would be a great.
Elena would be addicted to his blood.
It's what I'm saying. Would he not be great? He would be phenomenal.
He's just great in general. It doesn't matter. You could put him on Vampire Diaries, 90 Day Fiance, Hook is great wherever you put him at. He would be slamming the sling to love on you. Like he would have been that kid that was slamming the sling to love on you.
Slamming the sling?
Yep. That's what my nephew told me. My nephew's 18, so I go to him for my bonic term. Slamming the sling. So I mean Hook is
just to verify, that's referring to sex, correct? Okay. I was genuinely wondering about that. Like he's 8. I'm 22. I've never heard slamming the sling.
Hey, you know you guys you know this lingo more than me. You're 22, but my nephew's 18, so I go to him for this. But
I'm old. I'm 32.
I'm 33, man. I got almost 2-year-olds in my house running around all the time. So I got
Jeremy. I do have to say, Ben Raven DM'd me and said, "Tell Jeremy I say hello." So, co-host from Bailey and the Bird, Ben Raven says hello to you.
Oh.
Slamming this! Oh my god!
I want a hashtag Jarrett fears Hook in the.
I was just about to say.
Oh, tremendous, Reese.
That's
great.
My
That's
God, that is fantastic.
I'm gonna do a hashtag slamming the sling. That's the hashtag.
Slamming the sling. If you could get that over at Fightful, that would just be get Kate to do it. Get Denise, get Sean slamming the sling. Just
if Sean says it'll
it's
be over.
Exactly.
It will be over.
He'll get anything
Exactly.
over.
We'll get a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Well, for the longest time, it was what? Fuck that fuck or whatever.
Yeah, fuck that
FTF,
fuck.
yep.
Yep. Yeah, Sean's getting butt over, I think, is what his new thing. Is there a G in slamming? I don't want to.
Or is it just slamming with an apostrophe?
Yeah.
It's slamming with an apostrophe. I mean,
I don't know if that fits in a hashtag. We'll just do slamming.
I feel like if you
slamming
put
the sling.
If you put a G in it, that's gonna make it sound too white.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
The sling, like it's not gonna work.
None of that.
It's not gonna work.
SLAMMIN.
All right, I've tweeted the hashtag. We'll see if it gets over. I have no idea if this thing's.
I'm scared.
I don't think I can get it over, but my God,
we'll do our damnedest.
We're gonna try to get slamming the sling.
Hey,
over.
Either way, we got something. We made something new.
We did.
I'm gonna ask the EP this tonight and be like, what do you want to do? Do you want to do Joker sling, Surfer sling, or Crow sling tonight?
I should ask wifey. I should ask wifey.
I'm gonna text that to somebody right now.
Surfing on that sling, slurfing on that sling, surfing on it, surfing on it. There you go.
I'm gonna text the girl I'm trying to make a move on that exact thing, and then she's never gonna speak to me again.
Oh yes. My God. Speaking of AEW not slamming the sling, Miro, let's talk about Full Gear. Full Gear is on Saturday. Should be a message me. She says, "Do I want to fucking what?" She's gonna be so mad at me. AEW Full Gear is on Saturday. I don't know where we go from here. What have you enjoyed of this build-up? And what have you not enjoyed of this build-up, SP3?
I thought before Rampage, MJF and Darby have had like the best buildup of any match going into the show because they've really created a whole grudge, like organically throughout the last couple of weeks from MJF's 4 Pillars promo on, and then the Kingston Punk segment on Rampage, that just blew everything out the water. That's the most anticipated match. That was one of the best promo exchanges that I've seen since Kingston before Full Gear last year. His face-to-face with John Moxley, that was just as good, and he always brings that authenticity that you don't usually get in professional wrestling. Eddie Kingston brings it better than anybody. So those 2 matches have been built very well. Hangman and Omega, I've been so about. It just feels like this is like the plan B. Like the real plan A was going to be Hangman versus Kenny at All Out. And because Hangman had to, give birth to his first, be there for his wife to give birth to their first child, now we're getting it at Full Gear. And it kind of feels like that with how they've been booking the feud because they haven't really focused on these 2 guys. So I hope they solve that on the Go Home show. But it's been a fun ride going into Full Gear. I'm looking forward to it. I'm still locking down plans. So I'm probably going to be there on Saturday in Minnesota. So I'm looking forward to it.
You're going to be there?
Yes, I'm finishing up my plans this week. I had a couple of things I had to work out, but I'll be there.
Well, now I'm disappointed. It was supposed to be in St. Louis, and this past weekend, I was supposed to be there with Joseph. We were going to kick the shit out of Bob O'Neill, but Tony Khan's a coward and didn't, feared UFC and Canelo Alvarez. Jarrett, what have you enjoyed about this build-up and not enjoyed about this build-up?
Yeah, I mean, SP3 touched on Eddie Kingston versus CM Punk. I mean, that was just such a good promo. Here's the thing with that, though. Like, I do think, like, if I'm betting, I think Eddie wins. I think that if we're gonna give, at some point, Punk's got to get us. I think he should win. Well, I mean, at some point, Punk's not gonna go undefeated. And as much as like there's hints of an Eddie heel turn, Punk was showing a lot of heel tactics in the promo too. So like, it's not as if like we kind of got a couple tweeners, like where one's definitely like not all the face, but both of them definitely aren't like completely heel either. Like both of them had understandable points in the promo. So I would like to see Eddie win. I want to see AEW really just pull the trigger on him and like keep elevating him to that level. There was rumors of, potential Mox and Eddie like tag team heel run, which would have been awesome before, Mox went away, which by the way, get well soon, Mox, all the love to you. So I think that I would like to see Eddie win. I think the build for that's been great. MJF and Darby has obviously been great. It's just such an organic story to be told between the two of the 4 pillars of AEW. That's one where like I'm caught in between like who I think should win though, because like Darby, when's the last? I mean, he lost the last pay-per-view match he was on against CM Punk. But MJF at the same time, like we keep building him up and he's killing it in these feuds, but doesn't really cash in. Like the thing against Jericho, like if Jericho loses, he retires from professional wrestling. Like he got the visual win, I guess, but then they restart the match and then Jericho, beats MJF. So like in terms of like who should win that, I don't know. You could probably make the argument for MJF just because Darby. I mean, Darby's going to remain over. He's a TNT champion. He's great. You can make the argument that MJF needs the win more though. So I really like that. I'm looking forward to Danielson Miro. That's going to be great. It was all in likelihood that we were going to get Danielson Mox, which would have been awesome too, but I'm totally okay getting Danielson Miro. We're going to I want to somehow see Bryan Danielson reverse Miro submission into the label lock. I don't know how he would do that, but I feel like that would be cool. So I'm looking forward to that a lot. In terms of the women's match, like Britt Baker, Tay Conti, we know that Britt's going to win. It's just a matter of can Tay look good. Jeremy, don't
go. Tay Conti gonna kick some fucking heads in. Let's go.
Tay Conti's great, but I don't think anybody expects her to win. As long as she looks great, like if it's similar to the Chris Statlander match, mission accomplished. Yeah. So yeah, I mean it's been overall good build. Lucha Brothers and FTR will be really good. I don't think that there's a match on the card that I'm looking at. I'm like, yeah, this isn't going to be great. Like AEW does a really good job of building feuds, and the fact that they only have 4 pay-per-views a year definitely helps that because they're not cramming storylines into 30 days and having a match just because there's a pay-per-view and they have to. So I mean I would kick off the show with Punk Kingston. I feel like that would just get the crowd absolutely rowdy. Just like right away everybody's ready and then Cult of Personality hits. I think it would be awesome. So it's been a really well-built card. I'm looking forward to mostly everything on it, but yeah, Kingston Punk is definitely going to be the show stealer.
I think they're going to kick off with Danielson and Miro.
I'd be cool with that too.
Yeah, I think that's what they're going to go with first. I'm not truly looking forward to the Inner Circle American Top Team stuff. Yeah. I like a handful of those guys, but this feud has not done anything for me. It felt like it should have ended at Arthur Ashe, and then it continued. I get it. Dan Lambert has to have his comeuppance and everything.
Sure.
The promos and stuff, not for me. Dan Lambert, not for me. JJ, quit trolling in the chat. Just nonsense.
We didn't even mention the fact that Hangman Page is going to win the AEW World Title on Saturday.
So here's what I want to
culmination.
Here's what I want to get to. People, first off, people are being stupid about this whole thing. In saying that Hangman Page should lose to build heat or he should win. Oh yeah, Bully Ray wants him to lose so he can build heat. That. Louis Dangor, he wants him to win the title, but then lose it to MJF the following Dynamite
in his hometown.
Just absolute nonsense. People are like lukewarm on the build. They're like, oh, it's not that hot right now, and I'm like, what? What?
This is a 2-year storyline, everybody.
What are we talking about? Like, all right, maybe it's – I don't feel like it's cooled down lately. The pop Hangman got on the reveal from the Stay Puft Marshmallow, are we just, like, forgetting that was just last week or whatever it was? Like, what are we doing here? Are we forgetting the cowboy shit promo? I think the promos are going to be fire at this contract signing.
His cowboy shit promo, I didn't know Hangman was that good on the mic, but that was such a genuine promo. Like when him saying like, for the first time in my life, I believe in myself and I feel like you guys too. Like that was, oh my goodness. And the ending, he was phenomenal on the mic that night. So I'm excited for that as well. That's going to be very good.
Yeah, I love that promo. I said that's the best babyface promo for AEW in their 2-3 years.
It's right up there with Cody's before his match with Jericho.
I was
That was very
like,
good. I was at that event. That promo was tremendous.
I was like, take Cody's in 2019, anything from Moxley in 2020, and then this one. Those are like the best babyface promos for AEW. But I felt this one more because I've kind of been on the journey with Hangman from the start of AEW. I even remember him from like 2013 when he was just starting out in Ring of Honor, and like, yeah, he was just like a guy who was like kind of lost in the shuffle, and then he goes into, you know, the Bullet Club and the Elite. So you kind of been on the journey. So that's why I connected with that one a little bit more. But I totally agree. Like, I think people forget that we've been on this ride for 2 years and we're finally hitting the destination. So they still have the crowd behind Hangman. He's still the best babyface. The Elite is been money, and they've been getting huge reactions wherever they go, whether it be Kenny, the Young Bucks, or Adam Cole. I just feel like the certain fans just want to create their own narrative. They want to create the narrative that this buildup has been lukewarm, just like they want to create the narrative that Adam Cole made the wrong decision by going to AEW when the other company just released 18 guys, including one person that they just called up. How can you fathom that Adam Cole made the wrong decision? Like, seriously, this man's having fun with his friends that he hasn't seen in years, dressing up like the Ghostbusters, having great matches, being the most over guy, despite the way he was debuted. And people could say, oh, Bryan Danielson took the spotlight from him. Adam Cole gets bigger reactions when you watch these shows. He gets bigger reactions than Bryan Danielson and CM Punk, and he would be considered, before they got signed, the third guy that they were getting in that equation, but he's been more over than all of them. So I just feel like people like to create their own narratives, but it's not the truth. And the truth is Hangman and Kenny are about to have an all-timer on Saturday.
It's going to be like, the pop is going to be absolutely electric. Like, that's the thing I'm looking forward to the most. Like, obviously the card's going to be great. I just want to hear the pop. I want to see that crowd go absolutely bonkers when he
I don't even want to hear the pop for the pin. I want to hear the pop for Hangman kicking out of the One-Wing Angel.
Dude, it's going to happen.
I think he's going to be the person to kick out of it?
If there's anybody that it makes sense to do it, it's Hangman.
Yeah.
There's people saying that he should do it at 1. Don't do it at 1. No, but like 2 9/10, absolutely here for it. That would be absolutely, like, because that's the moment everybody's gonna be like, oh my God, it's gonna happen. And it's gonna be fantastic. Yes, very much.
I'm torn on whether you kick out of that move or not, or if he just fights out of it. They've built it up so well, but if there is anybody that's gonna actually do it, like it is Hangman, because people have created their own doubt with Hangman losing on Saturday. I guess their own doubt with Hangman winning, because people now, like, they're worried that he might actually lose. So when Omega does hit the One-Winged Angel, people are going to be like, oh, fuck, like, nobody kicks out of this. Yeah. So when the pinfall comes and he does kick out 2.9, that will be a hell of a moment. So, all right, I'm with you. He should kick out of it, and then
we talked him into it.
He should not kick out at 1.
Absolutely not at 1.
They protected that move way too much for him to kick out at 1. That would be very dumb.
If Kenny does the buckshot lariat, I want the 1 count kick out to bring us back to Revolution when Kenny got the golden trigger used on him. I think that would be a nice little callback.
And we know that AEW is really good with those little breadcrumb, like little callback things too. Like the MJF bringing out Juventud Guerrero to face Chris Jericho after 2 years prior, asking who the hell is Juvi? Google it, babe. Yeah, so we know that AEW is very good at, those little subtle callbacks. So I would be okay with that. That kick out of 1 after eating a buckshot, totally cool with that. That would be okay.
Somebody mentioned, I saw the tweet today about like leg grabbing, because Hangman grabbed the Buck's leg that cost him against FTR, and then Hangman grabbed Kenny's leg against FTR to save him. So be on the lookout for some type of leg grabbing in this match. Look, man, it's a very subtle thing, but they could certainly do it because it's been part of this story. There's going to be so many Easter eggs in this match that Reese says in the chat that he rewatched their match from last year. I feel like I'm going to have to rewatch that to see stuff that they did and see what kind of callbacks they do from that match, because there is going to be a lot of Easter eggs in this match. Like I was saying, it's a 2-year story, really, since the start of AEW since the start when Hangman said my phone is different. You know, they had the Double or Nothing 2 or the Double or Nothing pay-per-view, and Hangman's got the AEW phone. Like he was different from the start. They've been setting this up from the start. There's going to be a lot of callbacks on Saturday. I cannot wait for this match. Anyone who says this build has been lacking over the past few weeks, I don't know what they're thinking. And it's a 2-year story. Maybe it came down last week. Maybe last week it was lacking a little bit, but everything previously was great. I have no doubts. I'm not a big contract segment guy. I have no doubts about this contract signing. They're going to deliver absolute fire promos. They'll probably just sign the contracts and then be on their way. No shenanigans or anything, but they're going to deliver some fire promos on Wednesday. I cannot wait for it.
Wouldn't it be kind of funny if they book it the way that SmackDown booked the first episode, or the way that WWE booked the first episode of SmackDown on Fox, and then Hangman eats a one-winged angel 10 seconds into the match and gets pinned? Wouldn't it be kind of funny?
No,
just a little bit.
No, it wouldn't be funny at all, Jared.
No.
I think Cain Velasquez is going to come out.
No, Junior Dos Santos. Junior Dos Santos.
They already got Junior. Kane's they're just going to rehash Kane. Kane's a free agent again. He's just going to come back out.
That's true.
McGregor. They're going to get McGregor. He's going to come out.
He's going to challenge Kenny for the AAA Mega Championship.
No, it's not funny at all, Jarrett. Don't put this out in the universe. What's wrong with you?
You're right. I shouldn't put things out that could taint the best wrestling promotion in the world right now. That could be this bad juju. You're right. I'm sorry. Yeah,
don't do that. Dave says Bray Wyatt comes in. No,
what is going on with that? Because that has been like, there's been things. Oh, he's definitely coming. Oh, AEW's not interested. He's not going to be a GCW because he wants to work in bigger companies. Like, I want. Obviously, it would be cool to see him in AEW. I feel like Impact might make a little bit more sense right now. But like, I want to see where Bray goes.
I think he's going to end up making movies, honestly. Like, I think he's going to kind of go there. I don't know. I'm sure wrestling appeals to him on some level. I don't know if there is a place for him in AEW. If it is, it's part of like the Codyverse and doing all of that stuff. I don't know if there's a place for him at the top of the card, but yeah, the Codyverse. Everyone knows what the Codyverse is.
You got the Codyverse, you got the Inner Circle sphere over
there. As long as that ends, the whole thing with Malachi and Cody, totally cool with it. I'm tired of that, by the way.
Yeah, that's one that's drug out too long. And I mean, it's still going with the Andrade and Pac being involved in it now, but yeah, that's something that's gone on too long. I think Bray might he's going to bide his time and just do some Hollywood stuff. Like, bless him. This podcast is coming at some point. It's going to blow up when he officially drops it.
100%.
It's going to completely blow up. I don't think we're going to see Braun on Saturday. I don't think we're going to get any
big debuts,
big surprises.
No.
Because look, they gave us Cole and Danielson and Ruby at the last show. Yeah. This one is like they're going out on the Hangman victory. They're going to be a Hangman victory, and then all right, who's going to confront him? It's going to be that lasting shot is going to be Hangman with the title over his head. If that's not the lasting shot of Full Gear, I will DM Tony Khan and be like, "Hey, give me my money back, buddy."
He needs to come out on a horse again, and he needs to leave with like the Undertaker exit with the motorcycle, but on the horse, putting up the title, fireworks. That's how you.
He's gonna come out with Riddle's camel.
Oh, God.
No, hopefully
it's
not.
A new horse. Hunter Horse Helmsley died, but I'm sure he can get another horse.
Exactly, he could have a new horse. Just don't do fireworks for the entrance.
To Jeremy's point, though, I do agree that it definitely should just be like the ending shot should be victorious Hangman. Like I don't want them to like one thing that we can relate this to is the first Women's Royal Rumble when Asuka won and they debuted Rousey. I feel like that completely overshadowed Asuka winning. They shouldn't do something like that. Like this should be Hangman's coronation night. I don't think if they want to do like some sort of debut in the middle of the show, I mean maybe, but those usually I don't know. I do think that maybe they should definitely hold off on doing anything. The closing shot should definitely be, Hangman finally conquering the demon. The Dark Order can come out too. That would be fun. I'm sure that they'll come out and they could kind of mirror the shot of like Mick Foley and Bret Hart winning. The Dark Order carries off Kenny. I'd be cool with that.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a big enough name. I mean, no offense to Bray or Braun or any of these guys. I don't think there is a big enough name they could bring out to like confront Hangman Page on this. Like unless Okada's like, going to be in California for that.
Yeah.
But even still, I wouldn't do anything like that. Middle of the show, fine. If you have somebody that you want to debut in the middle of the show, one of the recently released talents who might make some sense. I know not anybody from this latest wave, but from the previous wave, to bring them in, fine. You can potentially do that, but there's no casino battle royale. There's no casino ladder match or anything on this. Usually they like to have their surprises on that portion. So there's nothing on there. I think the lasting image is Hangman. And again, if it's not, I will DM Tony Khan live on the air and be like, I want my money back. And we'll be on the air of the review show. Here's what we'll do, folks. Next Monday, Joseph and I will be on the show on here, 5:00, reviewing Full Gear, which will probably be my third review of Full Gear by that point. Live on the air. If Hangman Page does not hold up the title as the closing shot, I will DM Tony Khan the link to this stream and invite him on and be like, and I'll confront him live on the air if he has the balls to show up. If he does not give us what we want at Full Gear, all right? Yeah,
Jeremy versus Tony Khan at Winter is coming.
I want that. I want this now.
I'll kick Tony Khan in the head.
This is what I want now. I could see the Lucha Bros beating FTR in the middle of the show, and then the Briscoes making their debut in AEW.
That'd be dope.
Okay. But I do agree. There's not going to be any big debuts because you don't want to take the attention from Hangman, and that was part of the reason to a lot of people before they knew about him his wife giving birth to their first child, that they thought they were taking it off of All Out to not have the attention be diverted to Danielson and Cole instead of Hangman's win. So it only makes sense that they're going to highlight that, and that's going to be the way they close the show, as it should. It's 2 years. 2 years build up, you got to blow it off, and that should be the last image.
Can this also be the last any sort of thing between Jurassic Express and the Super Click? Because I'm tired of that too.
I think we're getting a Cole and Christian singles match at some point. I'm pretty sure we're getting that at some point. I thought we were going to get it on this based on Tony Khan's spreadsheet at the Jaguars game, but I think we're going to get it on Dynamite, maybe even the Dynamite after.
Yeah, that's a very Dynamite match. I don't need Christian against Cole on a pay-per-view.
Oh, come on.
It would be great.
Christian and Cole.
Yeah.
I love Christian. I love Adam Cole. This thing's gone on far. I'm over it. Do something else, please.
They do have a tendency of stretching
They did the same thing with the Pinnacle and the Inner Circle. They did that far too many. Blood and Guts should have ended that, but they did another Stadium Stampede for whatever reason. So no, if I have very few complaints about AEW, but one of them is definitely stretching out storylines that don't need stretched.
Like the Inner Circle versus
they love their multi-man matches and
trying
to blow those off.
Yeah.
The Christian heel turn, I do think, is coming at some point.
I'm cool with that. If we get Christian versus Jungle Boy, heel Christian, all in on that. That'd be great.
Yeah, I think we're getting that at some point. Christian's got to find a stable, though. Reese says Garcia in 2.0, which makes sense. Sorry. I was laughing at a message I got. Christian with those guys would be tremendous. Anything else from Full Gear or AEW in general that you would like to talk about, Jarrett?
Anything else from AEW that I want to talk about? That's a great question. Look, I would love to see a mini UE reunion if Kyle O'Reilly does go to AEW. Bobby Fish is already there, Cole's already there. Might as well just get the gang back together. If it ends up being maybe a Cole turn on the Elite and we get UE versus the Elite, I'm cool with that. That would be awesome. And then eventually next month, then January, Kevin Steen comes in as backup for the Bucks. I'm in. Do it, TK.
I think that's going to be one of the most fascinating things to watch over the next couple of months, because I'm 99% sure on O'Reilly. I'm 99% sure on Steen as well that they're gone and they're coming to AEW. And then you have a very good booking problem of, okay, I think they should just do Adam Cole Bachelor and just have them hand out roses to everybody. I don't know how else you do that. I guess you can do like wrestling stuff with it, or whatever. But I prefer reality television where they just hand Adam Cole just give me your best offer, and he's handing out roses and stuff. Britt's first cut. He's like, oh, Britt,
I see you at home. You're
yeah,
fine.
you're good. Like I need a television husband here. We're good. That's what I think they should do with Adam Cole and his choices of lovers that he could potentially have. SP3, where are you at on O'Reilly, Steen, and this what could happen in the coming months?
I think you just came up with the money idea. Like have Kevin Steen, he represents Mount Rushmore. You can have the Bucks represent the Super Clique. You have O'Reilly and Fish represent UE, Undisputed Elite, not Undisputed Era. That's what's I'm already thinking ahead. That's what they're gonna name it. And then you can get Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, and you got the OGK, like all of his past. It's gonna be the bachelors of Cole's past, all vying for his love and affection. I love that. That would be perfect to me. But yeah, I think Cole's in for big plans after Full Gear. I think that they just needed to get past Full Gear, culminate the Hangman story, and then with Hangman as AEW World Champion, a lot of these heels that we have been talking about that have been in rivalries maybe a little too long, like a Malachi Black, on Andrade, they can all go after Hangman Page, and then Hangman Page versus Adam Cole. That's a story that writes itself as well. So I think that although you have the Louis Dangors of the world that want MJF to win the title immediately after Hangman winning, he has a couple of months that he can go through some big contenders, and whether it's at Revolution, I think we have to wait until like Double or Nothing or next year's All Out for Hangman to lose, and I think he's going to lose to MJF when he does drop the title.
Let me defend Louis Dangor for a minute.
No, don't defend Louis Dangor. He defended himself. He came on Twitch last week and defended himself.
And look, I totally get the mindset behind it. That would give absolutely nuclear heat to MJF, and it would
He already does.
Okay. The extent that would drive him over the limit, I totally get where he's coming from with it. It's not good. It shouldn't happen, but I get where Louis is coming from with that. But yeah, like once Hangman does win, like I would love to see Andrade, would love to see Malachi. Why am I Murder Hawk? Why can't I think of it? He's hurt right now. Yeah, Lance Archer's hurt right now. So once he comes back, Hangman versus Lance Archer would be good. So yeah, I mean, there's plenty of guys that he can go up against that would be great. So I do want to see. It'll be interesting to see how long Hangman's reign will be. I don't think it's going to be as long as Kenny's, but you give him a solid 5-6 month reign, maybe a little bit longer if you'd like. Get some good matches out of him. But yeah, the storyline coming to a conclusion with him winning, it's going to be great. And then whatever you do after that, I mean, it's basically gravy at that point.
And I love me some Bryan Danielson, and he's my favorite wrestler of all time. He doesn't need to win the AEW World Title Eliminator. Miro needs to win that, because putting Danielson and Page in the ring together, yes, they can have a killer match, but you're going to be taking cheers away from Hangman Page, and that's not the right time to do that, especially as the first challenger for his title reign.
See, I thought it was kind of a foregone conclusion Moxley was going to win and then get his match at Winter is Coming. Yep. Now I think it's going to be Miro. Miro gets the match at Winter is Coming. Miro loses. I'm fine with Miro winning. I trollingly said, and fortunately it did not blow up, that Hangman should win the belt at Full Gear, and then the immediate Dynamite after, Miro just beats Hangman to become God's favorite champion again, and Miro holds the title for decades and decades and decades, pretty much until the promotion ceases to exist. I think that Miro should win in Full Gear, go on to Winter is Coming, lose, continue to be pissed at God, because punch God in the face. It's like, what is wrong, God? I'm here. You saw a bigger picture for me than the TNT title. You put me in the world title, and you had me lose to this man. And then, you just fight God. Tremendous content.
I saw Tope Suicida said in the chat earlier, like Miro versus God greater than Vince versus God, and that made me laugh.
100%.
Yeah.
It is. I'm deeply captivated by their rivalry.
I think the first challenger for Hangman pay-per-view wise, which would be Revolution, I think it's Cole. And I wouldn't be shocked if Cole wins that pay-per-view, because people are saying like Hangman doesn't need a long run. This is why people are booking Hangman losing the week after he gets the title, less than a week after he gets the title, because everyone just says, oh, at some point they're going to have to do a short title run. I agree. At some point
true.
you'll have to do a short title run. That doesn't mean you do it a 4-day title run. But you can do it until February and then do the Cole thing. I think he could lose to Cole. We'll see. I still think Cole will be hot by then. You got a world title. This is it right here. You don't have to do full Bachelor reality television with the Rose. Adam Cole, world champion, with Steen, O'Reilly, Fish, Bucks all being like buddy with him to pal up with a world champion. Like, you kind of got something right there. And then he's picking his cohorts out of there. You can do it in a wrestling way. You can do the Bachelor in a wrestling way. I've booked it. TK, send my check. Make sure it's on time. I've given you your Adam Cole storyline. That's where I think it's going into Revolution. Obviously, plans can change. We'll see kind of how Moxley's thing throws this off. And we will see if they do end up getting O'Reilly and Steen and potentially even Gargano, how that throws things off. Punk. I do want to circle back to Punk and Eddie because I have not talked about it on this show. And I was going to kind of save a lot of it for Thursday when Joseph is back. But Joseph is probably going to talk about that for roughly 3 hours. I don't know how we're going to fit that whole conversation into an hour and 20-minute show. But first off, the promo was good. I've seen a lot of Eddie should be the first guy to beat Punk. I don't disagree with this, by the way. I do not disagree that Eddie should be the first guy to beat Punk. I just don't think it's going to happen because people are saying, oh, what if Hangman is just the guy who he doesn't win it? Not every story has to have a happy ending. That is Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston is the guy who doesn't need to win that big match or to win a title. If he eventually does, I don't think Eddie Kingston's ever going to be world champion, by the way. Yeah. If he wins the TNT title, if he wins the tag titles, like that's the moment for Eddie Kingston. But he can lose these big matches. I tweeted over the weekend. He's 2-5 on TV and pay-per-view since Full Gear last year in singles matches, which shows you he doesn't wrestle a lot on TV and pay-per-view and singles matches.
I was going to say, he's only had 7 matches on TV and pay-per-view since then.
Singles matches, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yes. That's insane.
He does not wrestle a lot, which means he's not looking stupid every week by getting distraction rolled up or going to DQ finishes or whatever. But he stays over because of his promo ability, and he makes people feel something. Eddie Kingston, he's been the perpetual underdog guy who just can never break through. Punk has said it, like, you've wasted your potential. Like, we saw it in you and you just let it all go. Like, you disappointed us. Like, that was the crux of the promo. And he can lose and it be okay. People aren't going to be like, oh, I want Eddie. He needs this. I'll be disappointed if he doesn't have it. That's just the story of Eddie Kingston. And eventually he will probably win a title and it'll be a huge moment. Eddie does not need the victory on Saturday. Should he probably get it? Yeah, I'll pop if he gets it. I just don't think he is, because that is the kind of the story of Eddie, is losing these matches. And you can protect it to Punk. The EP is very fired up over me saying Eddie should lose. She doesn't mind CM Punk. I think she's turned the corner on him more recently. But yeah, she's like, we don't listen to Punk. Eddie should win.
I 100% think Eddie should win, though. Like,
I'm not going to be mad if he does. I love Eddie Kingston. I'm not going to be mad if he does.
You took him in our fantasy draft. Yeah, you stole him before I could.
I love him. I just don't think he's going. I just don't think he's going to win.
I would love if he did. And look, I understand Punk is still, like, everybody's excited. Oh my God, CM Punk's back. But eventually that's gonna wear off. Eddie is, like, you said it, he's incredibly over because he's relatable, and like everything he says, it feels real. So I think it'd be like a good redeeming story for him though too. I mean, everything that they said in the promo, Punk saying, I saw it, Joe saw it, Danielson saw it, and you wasted it. For him to come out and beat Punk and prove it, be like just a giant middle finger to CM Punk, all for it. And I want to see a Punk heel turn sooner than later. That's also what I want.
That is certainly what I want to see, because I've said it many times. I've grown sick of happy-go-lucky Phil and be like, hey guys, here's our show tonight and stuff. Like, I need something with some meat on it.
I want CM Punk to be angry all the time.
He's much better when he's angry. But yeah, I mean, I could see the reasons why people want Eddie to win. And as a New Yorker, I'm obligated to always root for Eddie Kingston. But this is his story. His story is that he comes close, but he loses. But as he's losing, he'll stick up the middle finger as he passes out. That's kind of the Eddie story. And I feel like if he is going to beat Punk or be the first person to beat Punk, he needs to lose to him first. It doesn't really matter as much unless Punk beats him, and we see that. So I think that Punk is going to win at Full Gear, but maybe down the line, Eddie can get his win with him, in a couple of months or a year's time. I also agree with Jeremy. I was under the impression that Hangman's reign didn't need to go that long. Like, I wanted Revolution it to be MJF versus Hangman there, because I'm 100% under the belief MJF needs to be the guy to beat Hangman Page, because they've already sowed the seeds of that whole relationship and feud over time, because they were the last two in the first casino battle royale that decided who was going to be in that AEW world title match. They were the two guys a part of the segment with Bret the Hitman Hart that introduced the title. So there's so much there that I feel like MJF needs to beat Hangman before All Out next year, because All Out next year, the main event needs to be MJF versus CM Punk in Chicago for the AEW World Champion. That's why we can't have Punk turn heel yet. We need the Punk MJF feud before Punk can officially go on his way and be a heel. I think that Punk, we need that, and Punk probably is going to be the guy to beat MJF. I feel like he should win the world title as a babyface as well. So if they can do all of that before All Out next year, I'll be happy with that. But that's how I think it should go down.
Even if he doesn't turn completely heel, I'm tired of this happy-go-lucky, like Jeremy said. Yeah. I'm tired of happy-go-lucky Phil. I want him to be pissed off. Be a pissed-off face. That's fine. I'm tired of him being happy.
Yeah, I don't need it. And Eddie has brought that out of him. It started Wednesday. Yeah. I guess it started last week when Eddie
do us a favor and retire again for 7 years. Oh, that was great, wasn't it?
That was a great line. Do you think that Eddie Kingston should eventually win the world title, Jarrett?
I don't think it should be a world title. I'd be totally down for TNT title, Eddie Kingston. I don't think I love Eddie. I just don't think he's quite on that level, and that's not disrespect to Eddie Kingston whatsoever. But the fans love him. He's an easy guy to root for. He should be in those matches. Like, he should be in casino ladder matches. He should be in contention for it. And if he keeps getting over and he starts wrestling a little bit more singles matches, more than 7 a year, less than I thought that he had, he could stay in that picture. But as of right now, I would say no. But crazier things have happened. I wouldn't hate if he eventually did. It's something that the fans would enjoy. I think he would be a guy that would get a shorter reign. But yeah, I mean, TNT title, Eddie Kingston, I'm cool with that. Like, if he beats Sammy Guevara for it down the line, that's fine with me. Even a tag team title thing, like, he's been, him and Mox had a tag team title match. Him and Penta had a tag team title match. Like, he's been floating around these different title scenes. So I would like to see him win one eventually. It doesn't necessarily need to be the world title, though.
Yeah, I think eventually he will get a title, and maybe it is the trios title whenever they introduce those things.
Fine with me. Yep.
I do think he will get a title because he needs some type of title at some point to complete the redemption arc. I just don't think that it'll be. I don't think it'll be the world title.
No.
Here's a surprise pop for everybody. We mentioned you don't need a show closing type thing. CM Punk wins, beats Eddie Kingston. Kenta comes out.
Ooh!
I would love that.
I would pop. I would pop. Hopefully his hair is a little less purple.
It looks more gray now. It looks more gray now.
Yeah, it does look more gray.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm the patron saint of bleached hair right now. But yeah, my hair never got that bad. So yeah, no, that would be great. I would pop for that.
Kenta, he teased it. He said he's going to put Punk to sleep after he won the U.S. title. He posted a picture of him on a plane. It looked like. Where's that plane going? Who knows? He could just be going elsewhere. It doesn't mean he's going to America. New Japan obviously has the show on Saturday as well. Don't believe he's booked for that. So that's kind of I just thought that might maybe happen. I don't know. I still think there's still some meat on this New Japan relationship. We were kind of told that we were going to get a big name, Okada somebody Dave had mentioned, Tanahashi is someone who has appeared via video on the television and teased by Moxley. And of course, they didn't capitalize on that, but I think that
Horseshoe Tanahashi.
Man, if Tanahashi showed up, I'd go crazy over that one.
Oh, that would be crazy.
But I think Kenta might be. I'm talking myself into Kenta showing up on Saturday.
That would be great. I'd be totally okay with Kenta showing up.
He's the only undefeated New Japan guy in AEW. When you think about it, Minoru Suzuki lost, Nagata lost, Kojima lost. I believe he's the only undefeated.
Did they win that tag match?
Yeah. Him and Kenny beat Lance Archer and John Moxley.
Oh, true.
I'm thinking
he lost to Moxley on New Japan Strong.
Yeah, that was New Japan Strong. He never lost in AEW. He's the only one.
I'd be okay with that.
Kenta's showing up on Saturday. Everybody, please credit me for the scoop when it happens. I'm officially a scoopster again. So when he shows up again, please make sure to say kind things about me. And
pops for everybody. It's going to be a great time if he does. Pops. I need to get one of those go to sleep shirts. I have a Bullet Club one. I got the Villain Club one. I need more Bullet Club apparel. I've noticed.
SP3 is wearing a Bullet Club.
I saw that
with your wrestling shirts.
Oh yeah, always.
Are you rocking a Bryan Danielson shirt right now, Jarrett?
It's not plain white. It does have a rose in the corner.
Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, not.
White shirt.
Yeah, I should have thought about that because I could have combined the Adam Cole Bebe, the Kenta, and the Bryan Danielson all in one. It could have been. You didn't
have to show that it had a rose on it. You should have just rolled it.
I should have just said yeah, man. But that's just the good-hearted nature in me. Is that
I appreciate your honesty.
Thank you. I've dressed like a wrestler in every wrestling show I've gone on. I think I haven't done an Orange Cassidy one yet though. So I need to do that. That was my Halloween costume. I need to break that out. That's the best idea I've ever had, by the way. So it was a party just full of like people my age who don't really watch wrestling. The amount of people who asked me, "Who are you?" It was a smart idea for me to screenshot Orange Cassidy just so I could do this, and for them to go, "Oh, okay, that makes sense." Yeah. That's my Halloween story. Sorry to get off track.
Who were you for Halloween, SP3?
I was Shawn Michaels, and my wifey was Sensational Sherry.
My God,
that's a good one.
Yes.
I didn't do anything.
What did you do? You didn't do anything, Jeremy?
No, I didn't do anything for Halloween. I just stayed home. Nah, I don't have any friends here. Just pretty boring.
What city do you live in, Jeremy? I don't think I've ever found this out.
I live just outside of Akron.
Oh, okay. You're not too far from me.
Yeah, we've had this discussion. You're in like Pittsburgh, right?
I am. I got a beautiful view of the skyline right now.
Yeah, there we go. Next time AEW is in Pittsburgh again, I imagine it'll be sometime shortly. I'm sure we will end up going and meeting up there.
Absolutely. I will buy you an adult beverage.
I'll drink, sure. I don't drink beer, so it's going to have to be some type of...
You don't drink beer either? Yes, no beer team. Let's go.
Yeah.
No beer team.
No beer. Not a fan of beer. Honestly.
I'm not a fan of beer either, which is... just can't
Give me a nice like Captain and Coke. I'm good. Be good.
There you go.
I'm religious about Moscow Mules.
Okay.
I live and die by them.
Anything else you guys want to talk about? We can just bullshit at this point. Doesn't have to be wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, I've got nothing else to do until 8:30 when Steelers Bears starts because gotta write them columns. By the way,
I gotta get out before 8:30. SP3, how much time you got?
Yeah.
Oh, I got it. I got some time.
Yeah, but what time do you want to get out of here, Jeremy? I'm free.
We can go another 20-30 minutes if you guys
All right.
want.
Yeah, no, I got you. Yeah. I'm here for that. But yeah, go follow my NFL content at Bailey NFL on Twitter. There's my plug.
It's all wrong. It's just wrong NFL content. What have you gotten right, Jared?
Bad takes.
What have I gotten right?
Let me to start the show, we got all the stuff that you got wrong.
Sure.
You had to get something right.
Yeah. So I do 2 weekly columns for Fansided, one Steeler related, one Patriot related. And this past week, I said that Stephon Gilmore would get an interception against his former team, and lo and behold, he did. So I was right about that.
Right with the Panthers.
Hey, first 3 weeks I was on a heater with the Panthers. First 3 weeks undefeated. It was great. Now in terms of I'll even pull up my division predictions right now. Like, not a lot, man. I'm
Well, that
gonna be,
doesn't sound good.
I'm gonna be straight with you, man. Like I had Washington going 10-7. I really bought into Ryan Fitzpatrick, and then he got hurt. Their defense is terrible. Dallas is doing well.
I could have told you that.
I had Green Bay going 13-4. That seems to be pretty strong.
That's on point.
Yeah.
I was high on the Chargers. That seems to be paying off. Denver 9-8. That's not biting me in the butt yet. I was high on the Rams. So like all my like little sleeper teams outside of like I had Carolina going 9-8, which is very doable still.
No,
so
it's not. No, I was
like,
here's the thing. Like I said, I'm a like closeted Panthers fan now. Not only because they followed me on Twitter, which made me really happy. Yeah. So like I root hard for Carolina, and I've always been a Sam Darnold truther, and I'm still hoping he can turn it around. But yeah. There's this past week of betting was terrible too because everybody who was expected to win and cover lost by 1 million. So yeah, I mean the past 4 days I haven't been right a lot.
You're getting buried for your iPhone, by the way. How
exactly.
old is your iPhone?
Look, guys, I'm 22. I'm fresh out of college. I got student loans to pay back. Cut me some slack.
Yeah, geez, Joe Pearl.
Yeah, look at this guy.
Joe Pearl
being
sucks.
a bully.
We shouldn't really listen to him anyway. He's horrible.
But I
watch me and Joe Pearl on Twitch.
I did tweet out bet Giants money line against the Raiders, which did happen. So I was correct about that. And Cardinals +2 against San Francisco, which Colt McCoy, my dog, came through for me. So
there you go.
I'm right every once in a while, I guess.
Where were you at on the Browns this year?
I thought they'd win the division, and that was wrong. That's still doable, but I mean, Baltimore's good. Like the Steelers aren't terrible. Cincinnati's kind of on a little bit of a Joe Burrow keeps throwing games away, but they were bad yesterday. So like that whole division's still up for grabs to me. Baltimore's been good, but they played in a lot of close games. They've had to come back and win a lot. That's not sustainable for a season. So yeah, that one's still up in the air. I love how I'm just taking over the distraction and turning it into my own personal NFL podcast. This is great.
The Jarrett Bailey gets stuff wrong about the NFL podcast.
Yeah, something like that, but with a catchier title.
That sounds very catchy to me. It rolls off the tongue.
Jeremy, have the distraction media team come up with something better than that.
JJ, get on this.
There you go.
JJ's our PR guy. We'll have him come up with something. I mean, this is for some reason they gave us our own channel, so I could just have.
Because you guys are great.
I was so happy for you when I saw that Sean had tweeted that. Man, good for you. You deserve it.
They put out they made an actual story on the website and a press release that was completely original as well. I was like, what are we really doing?
That was the greatest thing I'd seen that day. Like Sean tweeted out the link for it. I was like, what the hell? Oh, okay. This is all a bit. I get it.
It's not a bit. For some reason they actually gave us this and we could just stream whenever we want.
That's awesome.
He gave me a Twitch and then he's like, sure. Here's a channel too. All right.
Sean told me on Twitter once that I was sacrilege because I said that like early 90s WWE arenas were trash looking. Like the blue mats outside, the red, white, and blue robes were ugly as hell.
How dare you?
I absolutely hated the way those look. I don't watch anything on the I guess I don't have the network anymore. I do have Peacock. So I don't watch anything on Peacock like pre-1996 because I just hate the way it looks.
Wow. You're just awful.
Wow, that is awful. Bad. All right,
I also did tweet this out like a few weeks ago saying that golden era WWE is the most overrated period of wrestling in history just because it's not for me, man. It's not for me. I get why people love it, and I respect that I'm in the minority in this. It's just it's not for me. It's not for me.
Golden era, so we're talking like Hogan era, essentially.
I think it's just because I hate Hulk Hogan. Maybe that's why.
Maybe that makes you look at things a little bit differently.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at that era a little bit differently, but it still had Macho Man Randy Savage, so that's why I'll look at it fondly.
See, my favorite era of wrestling is like early '90s, though. Like early, like not even WWF though, like WCW stuff.
Yeah,
like Sting on top, like early and mid '90s WCW stuff. Even especially when Hogan comes in, they're just doing the dumbest shit ever. Like that, I love that stuff. That's right up my alley. Just give me like dumb wrestling.
That's fine, but like I don't know. Like I've definitely I've gone back and watched a lot of it. But, like I don't like Hogan. I don't like Ultimate Warrior. I don't care. Like I wasn't like Savage to an extent, but even then, like I'm not going back and like rewatching Savage stuff. Like there's very few guys. Like I love Piper. Piper was great. But there's very few guys from there that really do it for me. And again, I totally understand that I'm in the minority on this, and you're listening to a 22-year-old talk about how old wrestling isn't good. but yeah, like I wasn't blessed to grow up in the Attitude Era. I was born in '98, so like I wasn't old enough to get that. I very much grew up in John Cena bearing the Nexus on SummerSlam, which, by the way, I remember me and Louis touched on that during the fantasy draft. How like him and I both popped for that, and now looking back, we realize how wrong we were for cheering for Cena to win that.
Well, if you're popping with Louis, if you and Louis agree with something,
that should have been my first red flag.
The biggest sign you got to
reevaluate things. You've 100% got to reevaluate things.
That should have been
agreeing with Louis Dangor.
And I saw. Bless Louis' heart, man. He gets so much hate. I saw that
he deserves it. His takes are terrible.
Sean completely roasted him on Twitter this past week. He tweeted out a picture of him and Big E. He's like, Louis, buddy, I love you, but man, you are just doing this to yourself at this point. Come on.
PCO's been coming to GCW.
Yeah.
That was announced like when everyone said that.
A month and a half ago.
You know who I've really gotten into in wrestling? Effie. Effie fucking rules. I love Effie.
Effie's very good. Big fan of Effie.
Big Effie guy. I'm gonna see if I can interview Effie. What does he have? Does he have booking stuff in his? Effie, if you're watching this, I would love to have you on Bailey and the Bird in the near future. That's another thing. Me and Ben have been trying to coordinate to do another show soon. We haven't done a wrestling show since the season started because our schedules are just so. Football.
Yeah, we tried to do one, and your internet.
Dude, that was awful. I'm so glad I don't got to deal with that anymore because I was in the middle of moving at that point. So like I finished my lease at my college house, so I like put all my stuff at my mom's and whatnot, and I got myself like this little personal hotspot box just so I didn't have to like worry about internet failing. And then in the middle of that, it like died. So I had to like try to improvise and use my phone. That didn't work. Oh yeah, that was hellacious.
That was very rough.
That was very rough. That was after the Juventud Guerrera thing. So
there you go.
Yeah. So yeah, that was rough. But yeah, Ben and I were trying to do something just because we miss talking about it. And as much as football owns our lives, we'd like to just kind of put that on pause. His DMs are open. Effie's DMs are open.
There you go.
So
shoot your shot, bro.
Yeah, that could be something to look at. Did you guys see what Shane Helms tweeted?
Oh God.
Go ahead, SP3.
Yeah, I definitely did. And it was just like, Shane Helms, you, my dude, you shouldn't be the last person talking about this stuff. They fired you, my dude. Why are you defending them? Like,
he's back now. I'm pretty sure he's back.
I know. Yeah, no, I know he's back, but they fired him, and then he had to come back. Like, he probably doesn't even make as much money as he did before he got fired. Like, this guy is going to be the first one to come out and be like, "Oh, it's all the journalist's fault. It's all the journalists. It's not has nothing to do with the company that you're working for, doing a lot of bullshit and petty things over the last year and a half. No, it's all the journalist's fault." Like, Hurricane Helms, you are so much up Vince McMahon's ass right now. It's ridiculous. Like, I need you to come up for air and realize if what you're talking is complete BS.
Yeah. Another who was it? I think Luke Owen of Wrestle Talk dunked on him today in the Wrestle Talk news. Yeah, that was very good. Very, very good indeed. I tweeted out, SP3 remembers, I tweeted out that I'm going to dethrone Adam Blompied as the king of bleach blonde haired wrestling YouTubers. So once I get my chance on Quizzlemania, it's game over. Absolutely game over. I'm calling you out, Adam Blompied. Give me a shot. Now he's got
challenge is out there. Yep.
Now he's got to.
It's on air now. It's a wrap.
SP3, you've been on there a few times. That's how I actually got involved with SP3. I saw him on that, and I was like, man, this guy seems all right.
Oh, thank you. Of
course.
Been on there twice. For I think the last time I was on there was with Chris Van Vliet. That's when I met him. So
Chris Van Vliet followed me on Twitter before I followed him, and that made me feel like Jesus Christ reincarnated. I was like, what the hell?
Wait, hold on. Does Van Vliet follow me? I transcribe all
his
interviews. I've met Van Vliet. I've had drinks with Van Vliet.
I will look to see if Van Vliet follows you.
All right, he does.
We got to check.
Okay.
Oh, I was about to say like that. Then I would feel extra special that he follows.
If he did not follow me after I do a lot to promote his interviews, and I guarantee he doesn't remember me. We met at WrestleCade a couple years ago, and Sean introduced us. The nicest guy in the world. I told him I was mad at him because I'll transcribe his interviews, and then like he'll send out quotes anyway. And I always tell Sean, I was like, tell Van Vliet I'm going to fight him because I'm transcribing all of this stuff, and then he's gonna send quotes anyway. And it's just like, why do I bother listening and transcribing? And Chris was legitimately like, are you really like mad at me that I do this? Like, are you really gonna like I'm sorry. He's like apologetic of this. It's like, no, I'm kidding. Like,
what a sweetheart Chris Van Vliet.
He's a really nice guy.
Dude. I will say I felt a little less special when I saw that he followed 19,000 people, but still.
Yeah, he follows back a lot of people.
Good for him.
I mean, John Cena doesn't follow me, and I'm like the biggest John Cena stan.
John Cena follows me because he knew my AIM name was J Cena KB8. That was my AIM, my American online instant.
That's before your time, Jarrett.
That's way before your time.
Walk me through what this is because that just blew my mind.
Wait, do you not know what AIM is
you don't know what it is at all?
On God, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh my God, hold on. Before we do this, this is content that's just worth like just tweeting and being like, we're going to explain to Jarrett what AIM is. That is what we're going to do.
Oh my God. Yo, this is like mind-blowing to me right now that he doesn't know what AIM is.
What was it, like a chat thing? What was it?
You know how they got like Facebook Messenger?
Is that all it is? It's just like Facebook Messenger?
It basically was Facebook Messenger before there was like Facebooks and MySpace and all
this is before MySpace?
This was before MySpace.
I was a fetus before MySpace. What do you mean? Why are you shocked that I don't know what this is?
This was one of the first things to come with the internet when I had dial-up and I had to wait a good 10 minutes for my internet to start up.
Yes.
The first thing you would usually start up, especially when you were my age at like 12, 13 years old, is either LimeWire or AIM.
Yep.
Those are the two things, because LimeWire was where you got your music and other stuff that you watch when your mom was asleep. And
wow.
And American Online Instant Messenger was how you communicate with all your friends from school. And wow, this is blowing my mind that you don't know what AIM is.
Well, okay, let me ask. SP3, how old are you? I know
I'm 33.
Okay, so you guys are around the same age.
Yeah, we're same age.
Yeah. See, what was my social media? Like MySpace was big when I was in between second and fifth grade. That MySpace was still a thing. Facebook was 6th through now. But yeah, I didn't really have any. Yeah, AIM was very much before my time. Well, I'll tell you what I did have in high school. Yik Yak. Anybody in the chat have Yik Yak?
That didn't last long.
What the fuck,
dude? Dude, if you got talked about on Yik Yak, you knew you were a
I know what Yik Yak. I've heard of Yik Yak. I can't say that I had a ton of experience.
Yik Yak and After School. Oh, dude.
I don't know what After School.
Let me tell you,
After School.
After School and Yik Yak were basically the same thing. But so I moved in my senior year of high school. I moved in with my dad, and so. My mindset was like, all right, let's just grind through this year, keep my head down, get it done. And I downloaded After School just because I heard people talking about it. I was like, what the hell's After School? I might as well see what it's about. And so it's basically a unanimous thing where people, you put in your area code, and it basically takes you to the school you go to. And it's just unanimous. People talk about people. It's crazy. And so I remember my third day there, somebody commented that new kid Jarrett's actually low-key fire. I was like, yo, okay. This app kicks ass. So yeah, like I would check after school religiously just to see what people were saying about me, and it was the greatest thing. Yik Yak was Yik Yak was more for like drama. Like if your school had like some sort of scandal, like a teacher slept with a student or something, people would just talk about that in there. Oh yeah, there were some dark things said in Yik Yak.
It's way after my time. See, the place for that when I was in high school was called Skonex. Skonex is where everybody.
Skonex?
That was like the high school version of like Facebook, or it was like the in between. I think this was like right before MySpace. And
by the way, I hope I'm allowed to say I hope I'm allowed to say F-bombs.
Maybe
I feel like
maybe it was a New York thing.
I'm getting Jeremy demonetized by swearing.
No. We can't get monetized because Shaq posted a bunch of Hasbulla videos that we had to remove. So we can't get monetized.
Shaq did what?
Yes. Okay. So here's the story of why this channel cannot get monetized yet.
What?
December 1st, we can reapply. It used to be the old Fightful MMA channel, and Shaquille Majuri, bless him, he's at Cage Side Seats now. Great guy, but he would post social media clips, like popular social media clips, just to the channel with no additional context, and you can't do that on YouTube. So that's why it got demonetized in the first place. And then when we took it over, it's like, hey, these clips are still here. So we had to go through and delete all of that stuff. So hopefully December 1st, we can get monetized. If you want to PayPal me directly, anybody in the chat, JeremyLambert88@gmail.com. Just shoot me some money through PayPal instead of leaving a super chat.
Oh man, if we're plugging stuff, I'm gonna plug one more thing. I promise I'm done plugging football things. I promise. But
everyone knows who Hasbulla is. Joel Pearl. Everyone knows Hasbulla. You spell it right.
Kurt and I are doing a sweepstakes / giveaway type thing. So basically, we're just trying to build up our channel and whatnot. We just created a Patreon. We're just trying to get involvement with it. So the sweepstakes is basically you can win, and Kurt and I will get you an NFL jersey of your choosing. All you need to do, go follow the Laces Out Pod on Twitter. Become a patron to our Patreon. It's only $3. We made it the bare minimum. And then donate to the tips little link in either my Twitter or the Laces Out Twitter. It just goes directly to me. I'll keep track of it and whatnot. For every $1 you donate, that's how many entrants you'll get into the sweepstakes. So if you donate $1, you'll get 1 entry. If you donate $5, you'll get 5 entries. Whoever wins, we'll get you a jersey of your choosing, just to help us get more eyes on our product, more support for us. But we've been growing it a lot over the past year or so. We're just going to try to keep growing it. Patreon seems like a cool thing, so we just created one and want to see how well this works. So yeah, if you want a chance to win a jersey, go follow. I tweeted it out, and then all the rules for entry. If you didn't get that, my little spiel, it's in the thread. So again, follow Laces Out Pod, become a patron on our Patreon, which the link is in the thread, patreon.com/lacesout, and then donate to either the tips link in my bio or the Laces Out bio, and then we'll do the drawing. I think it's November 19th, I said. I'll have to look. But in the next few weeks.
Oh, that's
yeah, people can, if people want to send money, go there. You can go there and send super chats. Wait, so you have the link in your bio. Did you just tweet this, Jarrett? I want to retweet it right now.
I can put the link to it in my bio. I'll actually just put my Patreon link in my bio.
Yeah, tweet something now that I can retweet. That's basically
okay. Here, go to. I'm just gonna retweet it, the thing that I tweeted earlier, so it's at the top of my page, and then you can retweet it, right. And then I'll put my Patreon in my bio.
SB3, you have a Patreon and other gimmicks.
Other gimmicks.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/True Hill Heat. We got content up on there. True Hill Heat 150 post show is up there. We're gonna drop a True Rewind episode 61 extra with myself and Romeo previewing King of the Ring 1996, because we're going to be reviewing that on our channel later this week. So check it out. Patreon.com/True Hill Heat. Exclusive content. $3 a month. Only $3. We made it the bare minimum as well.
I'm glad to see we're on the same wavelength. Hey, King of the Ring 96, was that in Pittsburgh?
No, Milwaukee.
Okay.
I actually just watched it last night because we're reviewing it this week. Man, that was a rough pay-per-view to get through. There was some good stuff, though. Undertaker Mankind first matchup, that was great.
Yeah.
Mark Marrow, Stone Cold opener, that was really good. And the main event was great. Bulldog and Shawn Michaels. Everything else though, really bad.
Speaking of bad content, who's your guys' favorite jobber wrestler of all time? Because I know mine.
The Goon.
The Goon.
Yes. The Goon might have been before your time.
That might be. Who's yours?
Jimmy Wang Yang.
He was actually pushed for a while though.
Yeah, I was about to say I don't consider. I mean, he is kind of a jobber, but
he became.
I grew up in the era of SmackDown where he would open the show every night and lose in 3 minutes. Jamie Noble in that era too, because Jamie Noble did that same role for a little bit. I know Jamie Noble wasn't always in that spot, but it was.
Don't get me started on James Gibson. That's what I need. Give me the James Gibson run in ROH all day.
That's when Deuce and Domino were the tag team champions. I know I'm dressed like them right now, so I can't talk too much crap about that. But yeah, that was an interesting era of SmackDown. But that's what got me into wrestling. That was the era that I started really religiously watching wrestling.
My favorite is Hard Work Bobby Walker.
Nice.
That's the one of the greatest names for an African American wrestler ever. Because if I saw the name on a piece of paper, I would know he's African American. Hard Work Bobby Walker. Loved it. That's why he's my favorite.
Braden Walker, and I'm gonna kick your teeth in.
Let's now that we've gotten plugs out of the way, but I do want to ask one last thing. SP3, what was your AIM away message?
Oh, my AIM away message.
Yeah,
it was currently watching wrestling or talking to girls. I think that was where I kept it. I kept it very simple. Those were my two interests.
You kept it very honest. All right, is that like a signature at the bottom of the message?
No, if you were away, so people could see if you were kind of online or away or anything, and so you could click it and you could see what their status was, and everyone just had an away message if they were away from a computer. It was a big thing. Mine was probably Limp Bizkit lyrics. Lyrics were the big hit.
That was the big thing. Yeah.
Lyrics. Yeah, that's what a lot of people had for their away message, and mine was probably Limp Bizkit, super popular.
I will say, when I was in middle school, the big thing was that you could set a signature to your text, so it's something that would appear at the end of every text. For the longest time, mine was some sort of Hollywood Undead lyric.
There you go.
I was a big Hollywood Undead stan. Still kind of am.
We need to do a whole
I don't know if
podcast.
this was away message or this is just playing off of what you said, SP3. Either way, it's tremendous.
And Saxon. Absolutely. And slamming that sling. Absolutely.
That should be
that new age.
Oh my goodness.
Hashtag slam that sling.
Superplexing and Sexton should be Johnny Bravo's new thing to say.
Superplexing and Sexton is very good. That is fucking tremendous.
Somebody get Scott D'Amore on the phone right now. Let's make this happen.
We
That's
need to
phenomenal.
Another podcast where we just talk about things that Jarrett couldn't relate to, like how when your friend got mad at you, for not being in the top 8 on MySpace.
Oh, MySpace.
Oh, okay, I know that. I didn't have. Here's the thing. I was in 2nd grade, 3rd grade when I knew that was a thing. But my friend's older brother had that, and I remember that. Yeah, top 8. See, yeah. I'm not too behind.
Man, MySpace top 8 was would cause some fights for sure. See, I was never big into MySpace. It was too much for me. I was like, I'm not gonna. And then when I got into it, Facebook came around, and then it took me forever to get onto Facebook, and now I still don't even use Facebook at all. Twitter's pretty much the only social media platform.
The thing that ended friendships for me growing up, I mean, not me personally, but so Snapchat used to have your top 3 best friends list, and they would show it to the public. So if you had suspicion, whoever created Snapchat was definitely cheated on. First of all, let me just say that, because they had that feature. They got the location feature. They got showing when they opened it, if they didn't reply to you, what you're doing. Bro, whoever created Snapchat went through it for a while. And I feel for them. Don't get me wrong. We've all been there, but my goodness. Oh my goodness. The girl. This is the first time I've been genuinely interested in a girl in a year. So I'm just in that schoolgirl stage where anytime she talks to me, I'm super hyped.
Superplex
Tell
and
us
a
about these
Sexton.
conversations
Yes,
here,
let's
Jarrett. Did you message her? Do you want to slam that sling tonight?
Slam that sling.
I'm horrified to say that because I don't want her to not talk to me again, bro.
She won't know what it means.
Is
so
this
it's
a
fine.
Tinder message? Is this
No. So this past week, it was actually Saturday night. It was my friend's birthday, so we went partying through a few bars in Pittsburgh, and she came with him. It's my friend's friend. That's how I met her. And then we just started talking throughout the night, and then one thing where I don't know what we are, Jeremy.
Have you not DTR'd? Have you not defined the relationship?
No, it's way too soon for that, which is what I'm notorious for. I'm notorious for just like jumping in way too soon and getting way too attached, and that's how I get hurt. I'm opening up so much on this podcast. My goodness. Everybody is
love, Jarrett.
I do love love. And you know what? This past year has taught me a lot of lessons, and I'm trying to make amends for the mistakes that I've made in previous relationships. So I'm trying to not jump in. I'm trying to just, dip my foot in the water, play it cool. And sometimes I get a little too flirty, and it just gets, oh, my dear God.
Reese
Reese.
is killing Reese.
Belly to
I
belly.
fucking love Reese.
That's just great.
Jesus Lord.
That's just great. Oh man, we need the distraction, the single life with Jarrett Bailey. He's the star.
Yo.
We can do this. Again, this is.
If Sean approves of it, you can get me a day a week for that.
We don't need Sean. Again, this is what we have our
don't?
channel for. No,
Oh,
we
their
don't.
channel.
It's actually got its own channel. I'll do it. Hell yeah.
Sean
will-
doesn't care. He's like,
On
as long as you
God.
don't get me in trouble, do whatever you want. I was like,
I
don't think
will
it's gonna
come
get
on
in
here
trouble, so.
once a week. You can set the day as long as it's not. I mean, I'm pretty busy Monday. Mondays are pretty no-goes, but like Tuesday through like Friday nights, pick a day. I will give dating advice and just updates on how my love life is going.
The EP says you're too young to date, by the way.
I'm 22. EP. I can do what I please. Just because I don't know what AIM or whatever the hell it is.
AIM. God damn it. God
You
damn it.
you spelled it in all. You spelled it in all caps.
Yeah, it's
as
just
if it was
AIM. It's
AIM.
You put it in like acronymical form because you spelled it in all caps. So I assumed that we were just. I don't call AEW. Like it's.
There were some people who called it AIM. I mean,
Yeah.
we usually made fun of those kids, but there were
I
people
did.
who called
I
it
definitely did. Why are you calling it AIM? What the fuck is wrong with you?
I feel like I would have been ginormous on AIM if I was in that era. Oh my goodness!
I believe it. I believe it.
Yeah, I believe it.
You're a very cool guy, Jared.
Exactly.
I try, I really do. I'd like to think that I'm an easy guy to talk to and a lot of fun. I'm just spewing my Tinder bio to you. Do you guys want to hear? Oh man, I will read my Tinder bio to you right now if you guys want.
Yes, please.
Yes, I
please,
100% want this.
I'm gonna regret this so goddamn much. Oh no, this is horrible. Here's the thing. My Tinder bio. Oh fuck me.
Oh no.
Oh god.
Oh boy,
right.
what did you do?
There's gotta be stories that are gonna have to be explained through this. All right.
Let's hear this.
I regret this so much already. All right. So the first line is reigning, defending butt chug champion of the world. I did a butt chug where you put a beer bong in your butt and they poured beer in your. So, oh my, Fansided's not going to be happy if they see this.
I know people over there still. I still know people.
I'm gonna get a text from Matt Verderam later tonight. Be like,
yes,
what
I
in
know
the?
Matt.
Matt's actually my mentor. I love Matt to death. He's done so much for me. He's my guy. He's gonna give me a text later tonight. Be like, what in the actual fuck are you doing?
I'm sure you don't know much from the NBA side, but Ian Levy is I worked with him a lot with the NBA content.
I don't know him
a little
personally
bit because I did do some NFL writing.
Yeah. No, Matt's my guy. But yes, reigning, defending butt chug champion of the world. I did do that a few years ago. So I'm fun at parties. Oh Christ, no.
Yes, let's hear it.
Being funny and verified on Twitter are my only two flexes. Do you remember when we were doing the fantasy draft and I said,
Yes.
Lou, the only reason that I wanted, one of the many reasons why I want to be verified is just so I could put it in my Tinder bio. I wasn't making that up. Was not
I will
making
never
that
be
up.
verified because I refuse to sell out.
I was simply waiting for you when I tweeted out that I got verified for you to tweet something at me, and you did not disappoint.
Nope, I'm not gonna sell out. People are all in.
Oh yeah, they are. I'm seeing the
Chug.
chats right now.
Shout out to
This
Jay
is-
Shell.
Yeah. So
Everybody loves the butt chug. All right.
everybody does. Yeah. See, it's a fun little story. Oh God. Oh no. I love exposing myself to tons of things. That's great.
Nobody
just
watches this show.
Just want to spoil someone's daughter and watch Vampire Diaries. That's in there.
Absolutely.
That's friendly. That's nice.
Yeah, see, exactly.
Yeah,
Like I said,
nice.
me and wifey watch Vampire Diaries. It's
Exactly.
a perfect Netflix and chill type of show to watch.
Exactly. I'll sing you a song in the car when we go out. Guys, low-key, I got the voice of an angel. So
Oh,
anytime
when we come to Pittsburgh, we'll have to do some karaoke. I mean, I can't sing, but I'll perform my ass off.
what would be the song I would do karaoke for? That's
What is a good karaoke go-to for you?
Cotton Candy by Youngblood. That's a good one.
I thought you were going to say, oh, no, that's a Laffy Taffy by D4.
Oh, that's my jam.
Like the stuff that I listen to, like hardcore, I wouldn't do karaoke for just because like I'm a big metal guy. I love Ice Nine Kills. So that would be something that I wouldn't do at karaoke because I don't want to scare people. But yeah, like any sort of like punk unplugged, like acoustic stuff. Oh yeah, give me the mic and it's over.
SB3, what's your go-to karaoke song?
Lips of an Angel by Hinder.
It used to be a lot of hip hop things, and then I started. What was the song? Carly, Hello, Maybe. I think that.
Carly
that
Rae
was,
Jepsen?
yes,
Tremendous.
yes. I love that song. That and.
Do you not know "Call Me Maybe," Jarrett?
I know it. He didn't say it right. I figured that's what he was talking about. But yes, I know.
Okay.
Call Me Maybe.
All right, I was about to say.
Did I offend you by not saying it right? Like he
No,
said
I was like, I was thinking in my head. I was like, did he mean "Call Me Maybe"? I didn't know if that was a separate song or
that one,
So, yes.
and then Destiny's Child, Say My Name. Those are my two go-tos.
I would pay to watch you sing "Say My Name."
Oh, absolutely.
That would be
I'll
great.
sing that with you, SB3. I'll do a duet with you.
I'm trying to think of like a popular one that I could do, like genuinely. I would do "Shake That" by Eminem. I would kill that.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
I listen to Eminem. That ain't top of my list of Eminem songs.
Yeah.
But
Oh, dude, 8th grade basketball bus on the way to away games. Oh, that was on the pregame.
that was
playlist.
the song?
Oh,
you
yeah.
grew
Really?
up on trash Eminem. That's the problem. Is
Exactly. Like that's
Yeah.
like on.
See, we grew up on good Eminem.
Yeah, no. Without Me and Shake That.
Okay.
Those were two.
Yeah, Without Me.
Pregame
Without
plays.
Me's a good one. For
Yeah.
karaoke.
Without Me, I will go in on.
I don't care what.
I would only do a few Eminem because he does rap a little too fast, especially the Rap God.
Oh yeah,
I could
he's
never.
last.
I could
Rap
never
God,
do
I legitimately could do. I don't know if I can now, but when it first came out, I could do
Oh, yeah.
start to finish. And
when it first came out, but now years later, I'm older. Nah.
Yeah.
Especially if I have some drinks in me, nah, I couldn't keep it because I tried to do.
sped up from Rap God, which is insane.
I tried to do Tupac changes, and that went too fast for me. So I was
Really?
I was like, yeah, I gotta take a step back and go into my wheelhouse. And my wheelhouse is like pop music and R&B music. Those are my best ones for karaoke.
I mean, I think everybody knows that I'm gonna do to some type of Taylor Swift song. Jarrett, what are your favorite metal bands? The EP says tell Jarrett to do metal when we come to Pittsburgh.
Ice Nine Kills is definitely number one right now.
I don't know.
For those of you who don't listen to Ice Nine Kills, do you like metal, Jeremy?
I don't know the damn thing about it. If you name these bands, I would think you're making them up. She names bands to me all the time, and I was like, that band doesn't actually exist.
Ask her if she likes Ice Nine Kills because
she's watching. She's watching.
They are by far my favorite band right now. So they do basically music about horror movies, and each of their music videos is like a little like fan movie. What's the word I'm looking for? Sure, like a fan movie, fan made video. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's great. So they're very good. I highly recommend listening to them, especially their latest album, Silver Scream 2, Welcome to Horrorwood. Absolutely fantastic. The Amity Affliction's very good. They're very much, it's a toss-up between them and Ice Nine. Like Ice Nine Kills is my favorite right now just because they released a new album and it's really good and I'm just really into them. Amity Affliction's incredible. They're an Aussie band. But they're very much near the top of my list. I like Rob Zombie a lot. Rob Zombie has just some killer, like, it doesn't matter what mood you're in. You turn on Dragula by Rob Zombie, you're ready to run through a wall. Oh, it's incredible. We Came as Romans. They're great. I'd have to go through because I like a lot of different, like I like some underground bands as well. But yeah, Ice Nine Kills. If I can give anybody who like is kind of like debating on trying to get into more heavier stuff, Ice Nine Kills has like a really solid variety of like screaming some, not too terribly much. Their lead singer Spencer Charnas has a great voice. If you think of Ice Nine Kills as like a heavier Fall Out Boy, because Spencer sounds very similar to the lead singer of Fall Out Boy, so that would be one. Motionless in White, man, Motionless in White is amazing. They are absolutely amazing.
I will never listen to any of this. She puts on some stuff. Gorage, agoraphoric nosebleed. She listens to I don't understand any of it. I'm like, what? Whatever.
Well, here's the thing. I used to only listen to rap music, and I think a lot of that was because it's what's popular, and I wanted to fit in. And then I started listening to like a lot of the heavier stuff. I was like, oh, this is so much better. And then I've just transitioned into like, I like the occasional rap song if it's more like poppy. I don't like mumble rap. I don't like trap rap. I just can't. It's just not my thing. But some older rappers that I like. I love Kid Ink. He was one of the ones that I grew up on. I actually got Kid Ink's logo.
Kid Ink is an older rapper.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying, right?
Exactly. I was like, he must be new because I don't even know him. Like,
I've heard of Kid Ink, but I can't say I've listened.
I thought he was about to
say
like DMX or somebody. That's who I listened to.
Yeah.
This one on my wrist, this tattoo on my
wrist
is actually Kid Ink's logo. I got that when I was like a sophomore in college, just because I think I just wanted a tattoo at the time. I was like, yeah, what the hell, Kid Ink's logo will do. So I got that. But I like a lot of punk stuff too. Like Magnolia Park's really good. State Champs are really good. Day Seeker's very good. So yeah, there's a lot of heavier stuff that everybody should listen to because it's especially if you're stressed. Oh, great stress reliever.
I will take your word for it. I'm just going to keep listening to my Taylor Swift songs. That's
fine. You know what? Everybody has their thing. I think I'm always going to hold a grudge against Taylor Swift because my ex-girlfriend really liked Taylor Swift. So now every time I hear Taylor Swift, I just want to hit something. But
that's fair.
Do you like?
Now you can just think of me when Taylor Swift comes.
That's good. I can do that.
Exactly.
I can do that. Do you like? Have you listened to any sort of Kellen Quinn? You know who Kellen Quinn is?
No.
Okay. Well, for those of you who know who Kellen Quinn is, he's got a very just higher voice. And what I started doing in my car whenever I'm driving, I'm just trying to train my vocals to get that high. And I was just doing it randomly one day, and I got so loud and so high, I almost wrecked my car because I was so into it. It was awesome. So yeah, that's what I do when I'm in my car bored, is just try to train my vocal cords to get as high as they possibly can go, and then hopefully it impresses a woman one day and she wants to marry me. That's
Is that you got to put that on your Tinder bio?
Exactly.
I feel like that's gonna be part of your.
I feel like the sing you a song in the car will kind of like lead to a question like, oh, can you actually sing? And be like, yeah, a little bit. And then once they meet me, they're like, oh my God, he can. So like, but no, I'm trying to make it work with this one. I'm trying not to go in too fast.
Setting up the breadcrumbs. He's setting up breadcrumbs to lead to different questions. Oh man, he's smooth. I'm taking this one to dinner on Friday. So hopefully.
Well, next week, Jarrett will be back on one of these shows.
Breaking down how dinner
was. Yeah, to let us know how dinner goes. I just wanted to point out this comment because NNH says R&B always good for karaoke. Usher's Burn.
Oh, that man, we got to do a duet. We can do a duet off of 8701. All those tracks on that
what
album.
An album.
You
I will
got
say
it bad. You remind me. Come on.
Yeah.
I will say this: as much as I love metal music, my favorite artist of all time is Chris Brown. I absolutely love Chris Brown.
Chris Brown, I mean, fuck him as a human being, but
here, I'll actually show you this real quick because I actually have a Chris Brown poster.
All right, well, that's a little far.
I'm sorry. I love Chris Brown. I love him a lot. He's great. This isn't me sitting here defending anything that he's done, but I'm a giant Chris Brown fan. So I saw
the man had some bangers.
He did. I saw him in Pittsburgh 2 summers ago, and I could have died a happy man.
Choose your own adventure.
There we go, Marjo. Country Grammar, Nelly. Yeah,
100% agree. That's an album I didn't skip. I didn't have any skips.
Somebody,
Marshall.
That's Nelly, right? Did I get that right, Nelly?
You got that.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Somebody, I think it was Bill's Mafia, in our chats on Friday. When Tony Khan tweeted, like, I got a surprise for Caster and Bowens. This is before he revealed that the Danielson match. Somebody in our chat was like, he's going to bring out the Saint Lunatics to do them in a rap battle. And I got so excited at the possibility of Nelly and Murphy Lee doing a rap battle against Caster and Bowens.
That would be
and they come out doing Batter Up.
If they do Batter Up, or if they do what's the song that I referenced? Air Force Ones,
or Ride With Me. Ride With Me.
There you go.
Ride With Me will always pop me. I love that song, bro. Love Ride With Me.
Air Force Ones would have been like on point though with the sneaker battle and everything.
True.
Like that would have been it right there.
I brought up Chris Brown because a song that I could definitely do karaoke to is New Flame, because you guys touched on Usher. New Flame, Chris Brown, Usher, and Rick Ross. That's a not skip song ever. That will never be skipped in my car. Absolutely phenomenal.
I said we'd do like 20 minutes or so. I think we ended up doing like double that.
Well, I offered to read my Tinder bio, which was
fair.
Look,
I'm not mad at it, by the way. I'm not mad at it. This is somebody in the chat said this is wilder than a normal distraction episode. This is what happens when Joseph goes on vacation. All right, Joseph goes on vacation. And I'm just like, let me just pull from my list of friends here, and then this is what we get. This
has been an eventful stream, though. You know, you had slamming that sling. We taught Jarrett about aim, and
yeah. I mean, it was very educational.
Come on,
very educational. Now, like if I ever go on Jeopardy and they ask about, you know, the answer is aim, I'm gonna be like, oh, SP3 and Jeremy told me about this. This is gonna be great. So, but you should be proud of me. I haven't gone on Tinder since I met that girl, because I'm trying to actually do it. Yeah, man. I'm in that like 9th grade.
When you delete the Tinder, that is
if we get to that point. I'm trying not to rush it, trying to stay level-headed about this. But it's fingers crossed.
Oh, it's 100% Joseph. 100% Joseph. Jarrett, let the people know where they can find you at.
You can find me right there at J Bailey NFL on Twitter. And again, if you want a chance to win the jersey, just check it out. I just retweeted it. Jeremy retweeted it as well. And then my Patreon is in my bio. It's a pledge too, and then get a chance to win the jersey. So a jersey of your choosing is the sweepstakes right now for me and Kurt at Laces Out. And you can follow me at J Bailey NFL on Twitter. 2 columns a week for Fansided, Pittsburgh Sports Now. I tweet about wrestling a lot. So, I mean, obviously, if you're watching this, you like wrestling. So follow me for that as well. If you're a Hook fan, sorry, you probably won't want to follow me. Sorry. You know my feelings
Hook
about that.
Nation out in these streets.
So, yeah, at J Bailey NFL is where you can find all my stuff.
SP3.
You can find me with the Hooker Nation out on the streets, but you can also find me on the Twitter machine at True Heel SP3. Of course, you can support the gang True Heel Heat. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, patreon.com/True Heel Heat. Become a $3 backer. Help us out that way. Support the brand even more. We'll be up on our YouTube channel tomorrow for our AEW Full Gear preview. Thursday, we're doing WWF King of the Ring 1996 review. And then on Saturday, we got True Heel Heat 151, where we'll do full preview of Full Gear, talk about the week in wrestling. So check me out, True Heel Heat True Hill SP3. And thank you, as always, Jeremy. Always a great time. This one was an all-timer because we taught someone what AIM was. AIM. He didn't know what AIM was.
I did not.
Crazy.
Thank you, guys. We'll be back on the channel tomorrow, 6 o'clock. Myself, Steven Jensen. We'll be talking ROH, the promotion that still exists. We'll be reviewing the television episode, which is Championship Edition. We'll be watching Bandito versus Roosh from 17th anniversary, the 2019 anniversary show. We'll be watching that. Wednesday, we'll be here 6:30 before Dynamite. Who's on the show? I don't know. It's a mystery box for Wednesday. I got to figure some stuff out. I thought Joseph was gonna be back, and he's like, I'm not back until Thursday. I was like, all right, well, cool. I guess I'll go through my Rolodex here and just message people and see who wants to come on. So Wednesday. Oh, actually, you know what? Drew Nicholas is on Wednesday, and I'll probably have one other person on, but Drew is going to be on. We're going to show some love to Drew. Thursday, the Distraction is actually back. Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Myself, Joseph, talking AEW Full Gear. Joseph's first show in 10 days, so be there, show him some love. Friday, we'll probably do stuff. We're on Twitch, twitch.tv/Fightful Gaming. You guys know where we're at Jeremy Lambert 88 in the gym every day, getting shots up. Guys, Jarrett, thank you. SB3, thank you.